A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade, Detective Agency.
It's only me from over the sea.
Oh, Sam, how was it at the beach?
Same as always, foggy.
Did you go in?
Well, I was up to my neck from the first rumble. If you mean did I go in the water, I did.
Was it cold?
I didn't notice. I was too busy landing a corpse.
Oh, Sam, what a coincidence. I was just reading my new library book.
Yeah.
And it's all about a body in the water, pushed over a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a strangest girl in it with a strange mother.
Figures.
And she drinks, the girl, and runs away with a chauffeur. They're rich people.
They can't do that. They're stealing my material.
Oh, no, Sam, no. It's by Owen Fitzstephen. He's very well thought of. Mother always understands his plot.
Not tonight, she won't. Stay where you are, Angel. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the critical author caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. You know as well as I do, fellas, your hair is one of the first things any gal notices. So it's really important to keep your hair spruced up right all the time. The answer? Why, of course, Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. I have a hunch, fellas, she'll help herself to another look if you're using Wild Root. Get Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic in bottles or the handy new tube. It's again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. Later in this program, we'll have an important announcement. Listen for it. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
Looking over the phone.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, come on in. Let's get this over.
Can you wait till I finish this chapter? The page to go. The detective had just found this girl in a sorted rooming house. He had this fight with her boyfriend and boinged him. And now butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But I don't trust her.
What's the name of the book?
Morgue Fruit.
Morgue Fruit.
His last was a spindly stiff. That was about this neurotic nurse who was in love with her employer.
Effie, how long have you been reading this kind of trash?
What's not trash, Sam? Well, he really makes his characters live. And I love his detective. He's real hard-boiled, like in Dashiell Hammett.
Dashiell, damn it. Mark your place and come in.
All right, Sam.
Dear. Ready?
Yes, Sam. Oh, I can hardly wait.
Ah, that's the way I like you, eager.
To finish the chapter, I mean.
Please.
I wonder what she's up to. She's guilty, of course.
Of course, but what of?
You can read it when I'm finished. Oh, my goodness, we've got a report to get out, and here we are chattering about books. Date, August?
I will give the date.
Yes, Sam.
Date? Fill it in. To Missing Persons Bureau, San Francisco Police. Attention, Sergeant Schwartz. From Samuel Spade, license number 127596. Subject, Gabrielle Leggett. Dear Dave, I should have handed it over to you at the start, but you know me, I'm greedy. I cashed the check she'd sent me as a retainer without consulting my better judgment. Gave the money to Effie to pay bills without batting an eye. Borrowed a dime car fare from the corner newsboy without collateral. And arrived in front of the Leggett Mansion on Nob Hill without the foggiest notion of what I had been retained for.
I'm Gertrude Leggett, Mr. Spade. It's about my stepdaughter, Gabrielle. She's been missing since the funeral.
Whose funeral was that, Mrs. Leggett?
My husband, Gabrielle's father. That was nearly 3 weeks ago. She came to me afterwards and said she was going down to Quesada, to our country place, for a few days. That she wanted to be alone with her grief. But I discovered that she never arrived at Quesada. Do I make myself clear, Mr. Spade?
Yeah, except for one thing. Why do you want her back?
First, she may do something to disgrace me. She'll undoubtedly try her best to do so. Secondly, unless I get her signature to some papers, in accordance with her father's will, I can't go on living in this house. Furthermore...
That's okay. You've convinced me. Now, when she left, what did she take with her?
Just one piece of light luggage, and her liquor case, of course. She drinks, you know. No, it's not my place to disapprove. I merely thought it might help you to know.
Well, we could case all the bars in town, but it'd take a lot of time and a lot of money. Besides, I'm on the wagon.
Well, you might talk to Eric, my chauffeur. He drove her to the station, or says he did.
Where do I find him?
Let's see. 10 o'clock. He'll be loitering down the hall somewhere in the neighborhood of the linen closet, helping the upstairs maid fold the sheets. I'd knock first if I were you and avoid embarrassment.
Thanks for the tip. Oh, mind if I have a look at your stepdaughter's room?
Eric will give you the key. I'm not allowed one.
Figures.
Oh, Harry.
Oh, baby.
Darling, you great big bear. Excuse me, sir. Thank you for your kind assistance, Mr. Collins.
It's okay, Myrtle. Anytime. Yes, sir.
You Eric?
Collinson, what can I do for you?
I'd like the key to Miss Gabrielle's room.
You the law?
Why? You expecting some?
The old lady's been threatening to yell cop.
She decided to whisper instead.
Oh, private dick.
You catch on fast, lover boy.
Okay, I'll let you in her room. Come on.
Mrs. Leggett says you drove Gabrielle to the station.
She says that, does she?
Isn't that what you told her?
I'm not telling you what I told anyone.
Suit yourself.
After you.
Mm-mm.
What's eating you?
Nothing at all. Just want some privacy.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I'm responsible.
Go help Myrtle. Give me those keys.
Oh, listen, you...
Hello.
Hey, let me in. Don't have your lights.
Her room was, shall we say, untidy. The mirrored dressing table was chipped around the edges and ranged helter-skelter across it between two polo pony bookends was a mess of books. 3 odd volumes of the Harvard 5-foot shelf, a horse breeder's gazette, and a bunch of detective novels. I picked one up and opened it to the title page. It was called Morgue Fruit, and it was by Owen Fitzstephen, author of The Corpulent Cadaver, The Spindly Stiff, and The Kiss-Off. It was autographed to the author's great and good friend, the late Edgar Leggett. The signature looked familiar, but it didn't look like a lead. Neither did anything else in the room. I started to unlock the door with the key on the ring I grabbed away from Eric, and the light caught the smooth side of the Christopher medal. It was engraved for Eric, forever, Gabby. When Forever Eric went off duty that night, he went across town. The trail ended at a crummy, broken-down rooming house out in the Fillmore. He let himself in with a key and climbed the stairs. I waited until he was out of sight. In more time than it takes to tell, the door cracked open and a nose that could only belong to a landlady razored out at me. She was gumming a sen-sen.
What do you want?
They get settled in all right?
They ain't nobody settling in on me.
Never touched me. You got me wrong, Mom. I meant the newlyweds. Did they raise the rent money all right?
Oh, them. Raise it and spend it. He's a Dick Smither.
Dick Smither.
Stops it up all day and throws the dead soldiers out the window. And they call it a honeymoon. Who are you?
I'm her ex-husband, darling. I came to pay her the back alimony I owe.
Well, give it to me. I'll see she gets...
Oh, no, you don't.
No, now, don't you come pushing in here.
Quiet.
It's after hours. Don't allow callers in here after 10 o'clock. House rule.
Shut up.
Well, I don't...
What's their room number? Now, give it to me or I'll shake it out of you, darling.
212.
212.
And if it weren't for these new uppers, I'd let you try it.
Oh, is that what those are? Thank you, Grand Duchess Marie.
Smart Alec. No wonder you can't hang on to a woman.
It's all right.
You drove her to drink.
I did not.
Alimony's still good for you, young whippersnapper.
Who is it?
Western Union.
All right, let me... I told you to stay away. Now beat it.
Eric, what is it?
Look, Eric, I don't want any trouble, but I'm coming in.
Over my dead body.
Eric?
Get back in the room, Gabby. Now, look, I won't let you hurt her, so...
Now, look, Collinson, don't make me do it. I don't
want
to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Eric! Eric! What have you done to me?
Nothing a bucket of cold water can't cure. Sit down. I want to talk to you.
Who are you?
Sam Spade. I'm a private detective. Your stepmother hired me to find you.
Oh? You know why she wants to find me?
Do you?
She wants to kill me. She killed my father, now she'll kill me.
Can you prove that?
My father never had a day's illness in his life. He could drink 3 quarts of brandy in an evening. Do you believe a man like that could die of heart failure?
Frankly, I could.
Now she's starting the same kind of talk about me. She wants to railroad me to the insane asylum. Do I seem crazy to you?
No. A little nervous, maybe. This idea you have about your father's death. Talk some more, will you?
All right. I'll tell you the whole thing. But I gotta have a drink first. Hey, I can't get the top off. Give me a hand, will you?
Sure. You need a corkscrew for this one.
Yeah, I think there's one down there in the cupboard.
I don't see one.
Back in the corner. A little farther. There.
No, there's nothing in... Hey! Ow! I dreamed I was a character in a detective story. The title of the story was Morgue Fruit, and the author, a man named Fitzstephen, was trying to figure out a way to turn me into a red herring before knocking off his number one suspect. I tried to tell him it's against the rules to make your detective a red herring, but he said it was a new kind of murder yarn, and it didn't matter anyway because there wasn't even a victim. That's what he thought.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. And here's the announcement we promised you. Now you can get Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, in a generous new 25-cent size, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the critical author caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
When I came to, it had came the dawn, and I was still a character in a detective story, and I felt more like a red herring than I had in my dream. I had dragged myself across my own trail and wound up no place. My quarry had fled, leaving nothing behind but empty bottles with fingerprints on them. I lifted the few and hustled over to the Bureau of Identification. Half an hour later, I got the report. They were mine. All mine. I wondered what a detective novelist would make of that. I decided to find out. I had met Owen Fitzstephen several years back in Seattle when I was digging dirt on a chain of fake mediums. He was plowing the same field for literary material, and we pooled forces. I got more out of the combination than he did since he knew the spook racket inside out. I cleaned up my job in a couple of weeks, and we parted friends. His San Francisco apartment was on the 6th floor of the St. Mark. He was standing at its door, holding out a lean hand to greet me when I got there.
Well, you're looking fit, Sam. A little red in the face.
That's the red herring I ate last night. How's the literary grip go?
You haven't been reading me?
No, where'd you get that funny idea?
Oh, there was something in your tone, as in the voice of one who has bought an author for a couple of dollars. I suppose you're still hounding the unfortunate evildoer?
Yeah, that's how I happened to look you up. You autographed a book for Edgar Leggett.
Oh, yes. Morgue Fruit. Distressingly prophetic.
What do you know about that family?
Oh, what have they been up to now?
How well you know the girl, Gabrielle?
Quite well, since she's a duplicate of her father. She has brains, but there's something black in her. Something she doesn't want to think about but can't forget. She's a neurotic who keeps her body sensitive and ready. I don't know what for. While she drugs her mind with drink and lunatic notions. Yet she's cold and she's sane. If I had something I wanted to forget, I'd anesthetize my mind directly, leave my body stay strong and ready.
I hope you don't think any of this stuff means anything to me.
Oh, yes. I remember you now. You were always like that. Tell me what's up while I try to find one-syllable words for you.
You know the fellow that drives for him?
Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was released from Folsom in Leggett's custody when he was 18 years old. Murdered his father. Nice kid. What about him?
Mrs. Leggett hired me to find Gabrielle. I found her with Eric in a rooming house out in the Fillmore. She begged me to save her from her stepmother's murderous schemes, then she knocked me cold.
Well, that's trivial, dull. I've been thinking of the Leggett family in terms of Dumas, and you bring me a piece of Jim Crackery out of O. Henry. If I were writing this, Gabrielle would kill her stepmother, or dupe Eric into doing it for her. Or, no, that won't do. Not sufficient motive. Murder has to have a motive, you know.
Why? She's insane, isn't she?
I wonder. Are you saying that carelessly, or do you really think she's off?
Well, I don't know. She's got a kind of a wild look about her. Her eyes shift from green to brown and back without ever settling on one color. How much have you turned up on her in your snooping around, Owen?
Are you who make your living snooping, sneering at my curiosity about people and my attempts to satisfy it?
No, we're different, Owen. I do mine with the object of putting people in jail, and I get paid for it, though not as much as I should.
But I do mine with the object of putting people in books, and I get paid for it, though not as much as I should.
Yeah, but what good does that do?
Well, what good does putting them in jail do?
Well, it relieves congestion. You put enough people in jail, and cities wouldn't have any traffic problems, that's fine.
Well, then all you have to do is to wait till one of them kills the other and put the survivor in jail. It's simple.
Yeah, but who's going to kill who?
Perhaps they both have plans, both Gabrielle and her stepmother. Looks as if you'd have to guard both of them.
I think I'll settle for my client. As far as Gabrielle's concerned, her husband ought to be able to watch out for her.
Her what?
Husband? She and Eric got married.
Well, now there you are. You didn't tell me anything about that. Lord knows how much else there is you haven't told me. Pardon me. Don't go away.
Telegram, sign here.
Oh, thank you. There, huh? Thank you, sir. Now, I wonder what... Good Lord, this is positively corny. Listen to this, Spade. I appeal to you as a friend of my dead husband. Come immediately, Sunset Hotel, Quesada. Trouble, danger. Do not communicate. Gabrielle must not know. Signed, Gertrude Leggett. Spade.
Yeah?
Did you have this wire sent to me as a prank?
I was just going to ask you if you sent it to yourself as a prank.
I have it.
Hmm?
The key to the whole thing. It's a red herring.
I didn't think Fitzstephen would be able to hold out very long against his professional curiosity, and I didn't imagine he thought I would. I caught the next bus for Quesada. Quesada is a one-hotel town pasted on the rocky side of a young mountain that slopes into the Pacific Ocean some 80 miles from San Francisco. I got there at 11-something that night, stepped down from the bus, and crossed the street to the Sunset Hotel.
All right, keep your shirt on.
Mrs. Leggett registered here?
What's your name?
Owen Fitzstephen.
Oh, she left a message for you. Said for you to wait right here and don't leave till she gets back.
Yeah, she say where she was going?
Oh, it's probably over visiting with her daughter and new son-in-law, over to the cove.
How do you get there?
Well, you'll never be able to find it at night unless you went all the way around by the East Road. Not then, I'm sure, unless you knew the country.
Well, how do you get there in the daytime?
Well, you go down this street. You take the fork on the ocean side and follow that up along the cliff. It's easily enough found in the daytime, but you never in the world. You
okay. Heard you the first time. So I waited until morning. Stupid me. I found the road out to the point, but it had never really been a road. The side of the ledge became steeper and steeper until the path was simply a narrow shelf on the face of the cliff. The cliff that sheared off 150 feet or more to ravel out into the ocean. A breeze from the general direction of China was pushing fog over the top of the cliff, making a noisy lather of seawater at the bottom. Rounding a corner where the cliff was steepest, I chucked my cigarette over the edge and watched it spin downwards. And that's when I saw it. I had to go waist deep into the Pacific to lift the body. I got my hands under the armpits, found solid ground for my feet, and dragged it up beyond the high tide mark. It was Gertrude Leggett. Somebody came staggering down the beach to meet us.
She dead?
Yeah, Gabrielle, she's dead.
Oh, the witch is dead. Hey, take me back to town, will you? Buy me a drink, huh?
Sit down there. Sit down.
What's the big idea? Don't you know I'm sick?
Somehow I don't think you're that sick. I think you could make some sense.
Sense? That's a laugh. You don't know me. I've never been able to think clearly the way other people do. No matter what I try to think about, there's a fog that tries to get between me and it. You understand how horrible I can become? Going through life like
Nuts.
that?
Nobody thinks clearly, no matter what they pretend. Thinking's a dizzy business. A matter of catching as many of those foggy glimpses as you can and fitting them together the best you can. Trouble with you is you've been enjoying your misery. You've been so busy trying to prove that you're nuts, it's a wonder you haven't really driven yourself nuts.
How do you know I haven't?
Because you're too anxious to admit it.
All right, I'm sane if you want it that way. I'm just evil. There's something black inside me.
What was that again?
Something black. Everybody knows that about my family. My father, too.
Who told you that?
I always knew it. They say my real mother killed herself. But I know better. I know how to open the drawer where she keeps the gun. Every day Gertrude lies on Mother's bed, and we play Killing the Witch.
Yeah?
And she comes in the night and bends over my crib. And she's changed herself so she looks like Mother instead of the witch. But I know better, and I hold up the gun with both hands. Very hard to pull with both hands. It's very hard to pull the trigger. But I must do it or the witch will eat me up. And then there's a big noise and red all over. And I can't get out. I can't get out.
Now listen to me. You were beginning to make some sense. Now don't run away from it. Gertrude was lying on your mother's bed. That's your stepmother?
Yeah. She was my nurse. She married Father.
Not so fast. How old were you when your mother died?
4. 4.5.
Did your father know about the game with the gun?
No, I don't think so.
Did anybody?
Gertrude said I must never tell anyone, because they'd send me away. And I never did. Not till I grew up. I was with Owen Fitzstephen.
Yeah.
I had a lot to drink. I told him. After that, he began seeing Gertrude. And finally, my father died. But it didn't do her any good, because Owen really loved me.
Now, watch it. Now, let's get this straight. You'll have to straighten it out again later on with a doctor to help you. This is to help me. When you were a little child, Gertrude taught you that killing the witch game to use you as a murder weapon against your mother. Then she filled you full of ideas of guilt and fear so you'd keep quiet about it. When you told the story to Owen, he blackmailed your stepmother into knocking off your father. That made you feel responsible for his death, too, so you ran away.
Now, Gertrude's dead. I killed her, too.
You might, but I doubt it. Now, try and remember. Was Owen up here tonight?
I thought I heard his voice. But I hear voices sometimes. I'm hearing it again. Listen. Do you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything but the wind and the beat of the surf at first. And when I did hear the voice, I sent Gabby for a doctor before I investigated. He was pretty badly mangled in the rocks. He'd fallen nearly as far as he'd pushed Gertrude, but was still alive. I made him as comfortable as I could, and finally he opened his eyes.
Oh, Sam.
You messed yourself up good.
Yeah. No more rocks for me.
Not unless you make Alcatraz.
You know, I had half an idea when you came to see me in San Francisco that you were secretly nursing some exceptional, idiotic theory.
Thanks, Owen, but I never had any theory. The whole thing dropped into my lap.
Don't be too sure of that. Understand at present, I admit nothing. Later on, if I'm forced to, the very number of my crimes will be to my advantage. On the theory that nobody but a lunatic could have committed so many.
No, there's not so many. Only Gertrude, your co-author of the murder of the late Edgar Leggett.
Nonsense. Crimes and crimes dating from the cradle. Even literature shall help me.
Not your own books.
Why not? and the critics agree that the spindly stiff bore all the marks of authorial degeneracy. Evidence, son, to save my sweet neck. And I shall wave my mangled body at them. A ruin whose crimes and high heaven have surely brought sufficient punishment upon it.
Yeah, you'll probably make a go of it. Legally, you're entitled to beat the jump if ever anybody was.
Legally? You mean insane? Tell me the truth, Sam. Am I?
I think that's what they'll say.
But that spoils everything. It's no fun if I'm really cracked. No fun at all.
Period and a report.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it?
Now, there you go again, Effie.
I mean, if anything like that happened in real life, you wouldn't believe it.
You mean if anything like that happened in fiction?
Oh, no. The author is never the guilty party.
Well, this author was.
But that's not fair. The author is never supposed to be guilty of...
You're right. You're right, Effie.
He shouldn't be even a suspect. Maybe a red herring, but...
Type that up, Effie.
Oh, all right, Sam. Anything else, Sam?
Yeah, phone the drugstore and order some red herring. I mean, some aspirin.
More and more folks are turning to famous Wild Root Cream Oil every day. Wild Root Cream Oil gives you all you ever dreamed of in a hair tonic. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally the way you like it, the way other people like it. What's more, Wild Root Cream Oil relieves dryness and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So join the millions with handsome hair. Tonight, or first thing tomorrow, ask at your drug or toilet goods counter for Wild Root Cream Oil. Also, ask your barber for a professional application. If you've never tried it before, get the generous new 25-cent bottle just introduced. It's Wild Root Cream Oil's Get Acquainted size, and once you've made the acquaintance of Wild Root Cream Oil, you'll find you've made a lifelong friend.
Come on in, Twinkletoes.
Well, here it is, Sam. And I like it even better than morgue fruit.
You did.
I mean, it's not so realistic. I like a romantic type story myself.
You
Lots
do.
of atmosphere and psychology and those.
Oh, you've got to have those.
You really should be a writer, Sam.
Well, you think so?
Of course, detective stories don't pay much.
Oh, that's
but
true.
if you write enough of them, and look at all the material you've got.
No good. Never do for fiction.
But, Sam, there's already that radio series, The Adventures of You-Know-Who, Sunday night.
That's what I mean. I don't make a penny out of it.
Well, it's your own fault. Sam, I don't want to seem critical, but if you played your cards right, you could have owned a piece of that show.
What? And follow Blondie? Go home, Effie.
I think I will, Sam, and just curl up with a good book.
All right.
I wonder who killed who.
Well, when you find out, don't let me know.
Oh, you know you can't wait.
No, I can't.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Renee Garrigan. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade, brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
detective agency.
That is the correct answer. You have just won $104 million, 6 deep freeze units, a stable of polo ponies with matching saddle soap, a terry cloth robe with chocolate bars pre-melted into the pockets, and a full-size, real, honest-to-goodness dreadnought, such as is used by Uncle Sam's Navy.
Oh, I'm sorry you'll have to call back. I'm expecting to be taking dictation from my employer very shortly.
Oh, I am sorry. Your time is up. And Edna St. Vincent Markowitz, who sent in the question, gets bumped off in front of the studio audience gathered in the Dredgewood room here in Columbia Square. Next time, don't answer your phone, stupid.
Oh, Sam.
Let's have no coaching, please.
Oh, well, did you find the cup? Was it murder? Was it really worth, priceless and like that? And was it fun?
Yes, and no. And finally, are you kidding?
Well, then why was it called the Vaphio Cup?
It's a very old Greek expression, which is what I'll be wearing as I sit in your lap dictating my report on the Vaphio Cup Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Remember the Romeo of yesteryear? Hair parted in the middle, all plastered down? Man, what a difference today. Today, all a guy has to do to impress a gal is use Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. If you're still using old-fashioned hair tonics or none at all, then for her sake, spruce up today with Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. In bottles or the handy new tube, it's again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
Blow the man down, police, blow the man down. Why do they want to blow the man down? Date, August 22nd, 1948, to Jethro Chiswick, Esquire.
Oh, spelling, Sam.
E-S-Q-U...
No, Sam, I meant the name. It's, Chisro Jeswick.
I did not say Chisro Jethwick. I said Jethro Chiswick. I mean, Chisro... look, we'll check it later.
Oh, Sam, it might... I have an uncle in Berkeley named Smithwick.
Leave your family out of this, Eth.
But he's only by marriage, Sam. It's quite a common name.
Name 3 people named Chiswick.
No, Smithwick, Sam. Honestly, there's Uncle George and Aunt Amelia by a previous marriage. Then there's my cousin Rupert on the Christie side.
When you have finished ruminating amongst the foliage of your family tree, Miss Perrine.
Well, I only mentioned it in
all right,
that name
we'll
that you
start
thought you...
all over again. Tear out that page.
Yes, Your Highness.
Oh, no, please. No need to curtsy. To Jethro Chiswick, no comment, please. From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. What's that?
Nothing, Sam, nothing. Throat.
Subject, the Vaphio Cup Caper. Dear Commodore, that's the way I like you. Meek. I'd always considered myself fairly well-versed in the subject of cups. But if anybody had told me there was such a thing as a Vaphio Cup, they could have knocked me over with one, which they did.
Mr. Spade?
Yeah.
I'm Chester A. Brody. I talked with your secretary on the phone. Do you follow?
Oh, yes, Mr. Brody. Sit down. Rest your package.
Thank you. I prefer to hold it for the time being. My card, sir.
Theophilus and Brody, importers and exporters, mm-hmm.
Mr. Theophilus is my partner, Dimitri Theophilus. You follow?
I follow.
It was Mr. Theophilus who brought the Vaphio Cup into the firm. I furnished the cash capital.
Vaphio Cup, I do not follow.
Yes, indeed. The only one of these treasures to fall into private hands. One of the fabulous Vaphio Cups. Those exquisite and cunningly wrought examples of the art of the ancient Grecian goldsmith, excavated by the great Schliemann from a beehive tomb in Sparta.
Beehive.
Mycenaean age. Just west of the Lion Gate.
Oh, the Lion Gate. Pardon me, Mr. Brody. Are you trying to tell me that this cup is very valuable?
Priceless.
And that you will finally manage to find a buyer?
You follow?
And that you want me to deliver that package containing your priceless cup in return with your customer's cash?
Accurately put. I presume you're bonded.
Uncork me and see for yourself.
You are a droll fellow, to be sure.
I had a light breakfast, drolls and coffee. Now, what is this Vaphio Cup?
I will show it to you. You are about to see a treasure but few eyes have looked upon in our time, Mr. Spade. The Vaphio Cup. Handle it carefully. It's fragile. You could crush it in your hand like so much tinfoil. Yet this golden relic of a golden age has come down through the centuries miraculously unscathed. Note the delicately wrought lines of the bas-relief, the exquisite draperies on the figure of the caryatid, the anguish on the face of the fallen hunter, the sheer brute force of the wild boar charging to the kill. Holding this golden cup in your hands, you encompass 3,000 years. Do you comprehend why there's no question of insurance here?
Frankly, I don't.
My dear man, an item such as this is worth only as much as a collector will pay for it. This particular collector has offered $200,000. It might never be offered again. You follow?
I follow.
Very well. Here's your fee, $100.
I follow.
And here is the address of my client in Los Angeles, Commodore Jethro Chiswick.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
You will take the noon train. Any questions?
Yeah, why can't I go on a plane?
Because I've placed an item in this afternoon's papers to the effect that the treasure is to be transported by plane.
If I were a gunner, when I read that item, I'd take the train.
That would be your first thought. Then you would think they're saying they're taking the plane to make me think they're taking the train. Therefore, you would take the plane after all. Oh, would you? If you were really clever, you might say they're taking the plane to make one think it's the train, so I'll take the plane after all, and therefore...
Never mind. By this time, he's decided on the bus. The train is perfectly safe.
You follow?
The package was light in the drawing room, and the train was comfortable. Seemed like an easy way to earn $100. I knew it wouldn't last. Never does. I was prepared for the knock on the door, and I got ready for the inevitable small, dark man who plays the Peter Lorre part, but this one fooled me. He was a tall, thin actor with sandy hair.
Okay, Shamus, hand over the package. It won't be no trouble.
Sure, there it is on the seat. Take it.
Huh?
It's okay. You got me covered. I won't make any move.
Hey, what are you trying to pull?
It's a stick-up, isn't it?
Maybe I got the wrong compartment.
No, that's it. The cup's in there. Unwrap it and see for yourself.
Oh, no, you don't. I ain't picking up no booby traps.
Oh, you're yellow, huh?
I know that one, too. Don't cut no ice with me.
Suit yourself. Game of gin?
Hey, you're nuts. I'm getting out of here.
Hey, wait a minute, pal. I'll buy you a drink.
I don't drink.
Lunch?
Dinner, go.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Spade. I agree. Clarence is a very comical fellow.
So are you.
I took the liberty of stepping into your forecastle whilst you had your bit of raillery in the after companionways, and my mate, dear Clarence. You mind?
Not at all.
Well, sir, I'm afraid you're going to mind a great deal.
Oh!
And that's how I met you, Commodore. I was so busy sizing up the .45 in your right hand that I didn't even notice when you left, whipped out of your coat pocket with one of the largest saps I have ever felt. The next time I saw light, you were gone, the Vaphio Cup was gone, and the train was pulling into San Jose. I got off, rode back to San Francisco with a truckload of chickens, and headed straight for my client's apartment.
You got here quick.
Yeah.
Come in.
Thanks. Well?
Well, what?
Look, we can't both play this deadpan. We'll stay no place.
It's in the back room.
What is?
The body. You're from the police, aren't you?
I'm a private detective.
How dare you?
Hey, what was that for?
For spying on me. You and all the other cheap gumshoes my husband hires.
You're Mrs. Brody?
I'm Enid Theophilus. Did my husband hire you?
My name is Sam Spade. I was hired by one Chester A. Brody, your husband's business partner.
Well, Sam, I hope he paid you in advance, because he's the body.
Chester A. Brody was just barely identifiable. Somebody had worked hard trying to persuade him to say or do something he either couldn't or wouldn't do. The only interesting clue was in the wastebasket. At first, I thought it was a flattened beer can. But it was the Vaphio Cup, or a facsimile thereof.
Well, how do you like it, Sam?
I don't. He was my client. I wasn't hired to protect him. I didn't like him, but he was my client.
How would you like me for a client?
I'll give you the name of a lawyer, sister.
My name is Enid.
Enid? Now, let's see what I can squeeze out of you before the cops do. Brody was your husband's business partner, and you're,
You don't have to be subtle. He was mad about me. I'm all broken up about his death.
So is he.
That wasn't funny.
That time I deserved it.
You don't like me, do you?
Can't you get it through that steel-jacketed brain of yours that you're in bad trouble, that there's a dead man in the next room, beaten to death, and you're not supposed to be here?
Oh, I was supposed to be here. We were going to elope as soon as you brought back the money from that Greek thing.
Yeah, what about that Greek thing?
It was an antique. It was called the Vaphio Cup.
Yes, I know about that.
Yes, well, my husband dug it up in Greece and smuggled it into the country.
Yeah?
It was all he had, but it was such an important piece that he was able to persuade Chet, the late Chester Brody, that is, to let him in as a full partner.
Then what?
Well, they quarreled. My husband made some bad investments, and Chet wanted to sell the cup to save the firm. Dmitri refused. I didn't think it was fair, so I got the keys to his safety deposit box where the cup was, and Chet arranged to sell it to the Commodore. Did you get the money from the Commodore?
All I got from the Commodore was lumps.
He stole the cup?
Roger.
You've got to get it back.
I've got it.
Where?
Here, take a look.
It's ruined. Where did you find it?
In a trash basket where it belongs.
Dmitri did it. He must have suspected something and substituted a fake. That's it. He knows where the real one is.
Somebody thought that your boyfriend knew.
The one that killed him?
That's the way it looks. Maybe that's the way it was meant to look. You know, somebody might get the idea that you palmed the genuine when you got it out of that safety deposit box.
If I did, it was legal, and don't you forget it. A wife can't steal from her husband. Legally, they're one person. You can't steal from yourself. That's the law.
I was wrong. You don't need a lawyer.
Will you help me?
I may hurt you, and it'll cost you anyway.
I know what's good for me. Money. Find that cup.
I know what's good for me, too, so I took her $100, advised her to go home, and made for my own humble lodging. They were not only humble, they were crowded. The man was small, but the gun was enormous. I said, don't bother to introduce yourself. Your name is Dmitri Theopolis, and you want this package that I'm carrying.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Vaphio Cup Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
He didn't answer me, so I said it again. Don't bother to introduce yourself. Your name is Dmitri Theopolis, and you want this package that I'm carrying.
Of that be assured. You obtained this from my dear wife. And how did you find my darling?
Not at the city pound, surprisingly enough.
Oh, you know my dear wife. How soon you know my darling so well, more than I her husband? Is it possible?
I don't know, is it?
I don't know either. I employ a detective.
Not this one.
I have need. My poor partner, Mr. Brody. You are interested?
If you are interesting about who killed your partner, that's one thing. But if you want somebody to dig out your family secrets, that is nothing. With me, you are, shall we say, no place.
But why don't I get the right to know? There'll be no trouble, no scandal, no divorcement suing. Of that be assured. Even poor Chester is dead, so he's what one calls ancient history. While he lived, I knew nothing. I was blind. After he died, I see certain things.
Yeah, well, do you see that maybe your wife had a hand in Brody's death? What then?
Well, if it so happens that you cannot separate my darling from that, do you follow?
Not quite.
I'm not an old man.
Oh,
but my dear wife is but 22 and a truly lovely person.
Oh, she's all right.
Would it not be the part of husbandly wisdom to have, shall I say, a hold over her?
If she's guilty, you won't need it.
Good. Please, I cannot hold the gun and handle my wallet at the same time. Please.
No, thanks. You keep the gun. I'll take the wallet.
Oh, you trust me. You will work for me.
Yeah, I'll work for anybody. Here, I left your cab fare.
Oh, assuredly, you are so very kind.
Oh, I'm not so
Now
kind.
the package, yes?
No.
Then I don't hesitate to shoot you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes?
This is the fake. You sure you want this?
Assuredly, yes.
A man has already been killed for it. Your life's a high price to pay for a fake, though fancy, tin cup.
You still think that's the price?
Brother, I know it.
Then you know I will kill you for it.
Okay, if it means that much to you, and I guess it does, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Please remain where you are. If you follow me, I will surely shoot you.
From my front window, I watched them come out downstairs and start across the street. Then it happened. I saw the gun flash as it fired, and Theophilus slumped to the pavement. The package slid away from him into the gutter. I beat it down to him. He'd taken all 3 pellets in the midsection from close range. His pulse fluttered once or twice and then stopped. When I went to look for the package, it wasn't there. I called homicide and waited until they took him away. When I told Lieutenant Dundee what I had in mind, he congratulated me on my brilliant scheme and told me to go ahead with it. That was his mistake. I even talked him out of assigning any of his harness men to watch my building for the next couple of hours. That was my mistake. I went upstairs, opened the bottle, and waited for your knock on my door, Commodore.
Well, sir, a man would almost think you expected us. Keep a weather eye on him, Clarence. Don't let him get lured.
Aye, sir.
Welcome aboard.
No time to scuttlebutt, Mr. Spade. We're bound for Bullylong Bali on the lookout for Maru, sailing at dawn. I want that cup. The true, the genuine, the Vaphio Cup. No more deceptions, no more trickery. You will hand it over without further delay.
Sure. Be glad to.
Oh, no, not like that. You will tell Clarence where it is stowed, and Clarence will fetch it above deck.
Why, you old barnacle. Theophilus never had his mitts on a genuine Vaphio Cup.
Bilge water, sir. When Theophilus landed in San Francisco, he didn't have a farthing. Now he owes $500,000. If he hadn't got the genuine cup, how could he have borrowed all that money?
Because a bunch of morons like you believed he had it.
Lost my binnacles, man. You sound as though you believed what you're saying.
Look, Commodore, you're interested in high finance. Now, how did Ivor Kruger make his millions?
Why, matches. He was the match king, sir.
Matches had nothing to do with it, Commodore. He started out with $15 million worth of phony government bonds that he printed himself. Follow? They weren't even good counterfeits, but he was smart enough not to try and cash them. He just kept them in a safety deposit box and borrowed money. Theophilus used his phony Vaphio Cup the same way.
Lost my binnacles, man. You sound as though you believe what you're saying.
Well, there's a familiar ring to it. I do. And I'll tell you why. He knew that was the fake in the package when he held me up for it. He was willing to risk his own life to get it out of circulation.
Dash my timbers. Old Theophilus has left us without a shot in the locker. You steered us onto the shoals. We're on our beam in.
Hey, turn him off, Commodore. You're pumping bilge flush. We better haul our wind.
Yes, indeed. I'm afraid it's getting rather warm in San Francisco. Bull along, Beckham.
You won't make it past the potato patch.
What?
The cops are going to want some answers about a couple of stiffs you left behind in San Francisco.
I'm glad you reminded me.
Can I plug him?
No, we're taking him with us.
Oh, that's what you think.
Take it easy, mate. This ain't going to hurt him.
A reek of chloroform filled the room, and a fist pounded into my belly. It knocked my wind out, and at the same time, my nose collided with something wet and cold. I swung out, but didn't connect. Before I could swing again, the room blurred, and the ceiling light floated down to meet me. Then the lights went out altogether. At first, I couldn't figure it. It sounded like what a doctor hears through a stethoscope, or maybe an earthquake, or maybe ship engines, which it turned out to be. When the lights came on again, I was lying on a bunk in a stateroom. I staggered across to the wash basin and splashed water on my face.
Hello, you.
Enid, as I hardly live and breathe.
It could get worse.
Yeah, where are we?
Oh, not very far out. Not past the Farallon.
Good. I'm a stowaway. Now put me off with the pilot.
Oh, no, you're not. Your passage is paid.
Mine? It is, huh?
It is. Do you know who you are?
Who am I?
Chester Brody.
Then I'm dead. They'll bury me at sea.
Roger.
Who are you?
I'm your widow.
What's the score, widow?
Chester and I booked passage on this ship a week ago. It was part of the plan. Chester and the Commodore worked it all out.
Yeah, the cup was to have been stolen from me on the train.
Yes, but when the Commodore discovered it was a fake, everything fell to pieces.
Yeah, he thought Chester was double-crossing him.
They forced Chet to talk. He told them Dimitri still had the genuine Vaphio Cup and had hired you for the double cross. Maybe he really believed it. Anyway, they killed Dimitri.
Yeah, well, there's nothing on them yet. But you're a material witness, sweetheart, to at least one of the killings. That's extraditable. When that dawns on them, they'll scuttle you, too.
It's already dawned on them. I'm desperate.
Yes, I noticed. For you, you're practically hysterical.
We have to face facts.
Yeah, well, give me a couple to face right now. Where are the Commodore and Clarence?
Up on the bridge.
Good. All you have to do is walk straight up to the captain. He'll put him under arrest.
Well, that might be a good idea, darling. Only
what?
Only the Commodore is the captain.
That's horrid. Your salty talk had fooled me, Commodore. I never dreamed that you were really an old sea dog, and I do mean dog. But two can play at that game. From my own intimate knowledge of sea story magazines, I realized that all hands would be turned to in the cargo gear, and the crew quarters would be, therefore, empty. In more time than it takes to tell, Enid and I had fitted ourselves out in dungarees, jumpers, and watch caps, and turned to with them.
Stow that preventer.
Oh, me? You may recall, Commodore, you may recall me as the man who ran for a fire extinguisher when the bosun yelled, stow the preventer. But experience is the best teacher, and by the time we hove to put the pilot over the side, things were in such a state of confusion that you had retreated to your cabin with a quadruple ration of grog. Seizing that moment, I threw Enid over the side, yelled, man overboard! And jumped in after her. Once safely aboard the pilot schooner, we revealed our true identity, and a merry laugh was enjoyed by all. It dropped us at the foot of Market, and we waved warm farewells to our erstwhile rescuers, then to the snug haven of my office in a friendly cup, if you'll pardon the expression, in the grateful warmth of a gas radiator.
Unhealthy.
Who, me?
Gas fumes. Why don't you move into a building with steam heat?
I like this building. I've been here for a long time.
You don't make much money, do you?
You don't have to rub it in. It's a living.
You happy?
Sure I am.
Well, guess it's all right then.
You know, sweetheart, there's something missing in you.
Huh? What?
I don't know.
And then how do you know?
Forget it.
Well, I guess I'll go.
Do you mind if I don't see you to the door?
Why should I? What?
Hey, you are human. Yeah, they're wet. Go ahead, sweetheart. Cry all you want. It's been tough. You shouldn't have kept it bottled up this long.
No, it's not what you think.
Well, what is it?
It's you. You're so nice.
I'm nice.
Yeah, but you're no place. You never will be. And neither will I.
And that, Commodore, is the cargo. It was nice seeing you again down at the hall. They tell me you and Clarence are both trying to turn state's evidence. But according to the late bulletins, Clarence was leading by a neck in the stretch. Get it? The DA was afraid the jury might not understand your salty talk. Period. End of sea chanty.
Oh, Sam.
Yes, what?
Oh,
Hmm?
oh I just can't.
Oh, why can't you? Are you feeling okay, F?
Oh, Sam. You betrayed your trust. You...
Effie, speak to me. What is it? I betrayed my trust. What?
Those criminals were on that boat.
Yes?
And you jumped overboard.
You feel that I was recalcitrant? Is that it? That my actions were not true blue, clear cut? Is that it?
Oh, I'll just go type this up, and I'm sure you can explain. I hope you can. I hope.
Sour racket.
Question: what's the easiest and best way there is to give your hair that well-groomed look? Answer: Wild Root Cream Oil. Yes, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil with soothing lanolin gives you the advantages considered most important in a hair tonic. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, removes loose, ugly dandruff. Call at your drug or toilet goods counter tonight or first thing tomorrow for Wild Root Cream Oil. If you've never tried it before, get the generous new 25-cent bottle just introduced. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Oh, here it is, Sam. I hope the spelling is all right. I was so upset.
You hate me then?
Oh, no. No. I suppose it's foolish going along thinking that your ideal doesn't have to look clay. Oh, Sam, I just can't imagine.
Don't you think I can explain that?
Oh, yes, I'm sure you can explain. But you did. You deserted your post and jumped overboard like a thinking rat.
That's right.
Oh, Sam, that's so unlike you. It was just by chance they were apprehended.
By chance, you say? Who do you think it was that got himself shot out of a torpedo tube in that submarine?
You, Sam?
No, you think I'm crazy? I did something few radio detectives ever do, sweetheart. I called the Harbor Patrol single-handed using only one nickel and had them picked up.
Oh, Sam, I wish I'd been there.
Well, it was just a small phone booth. Besides, if you'd been there, it would have been out of order or something.
Oh, Sam, you came through after all.
Aren't you ashamed that you ever doubted me?
Yes, I am. I'm a fool.
There. I forgive you.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin with score composed by Renee Garrigan. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Hey, it's me, Sammy the Spade.
Sam, it's not true, is it?
Every word of it. What?
That you've been consorting with unsavory characters?
Well, she was a savory enough girl, Effie, although a crook.
Well, according to the paper, she's practically a murderess. Not to mention that she's dancing the Roomba with you.
That's a lie.
There's a picture of you. Virginia Vale, gangland glamour girl, caught at the Club Iberia in barefoot Roomba with private eye.
It was not a Roomba. It was a bambuco.
Oh, Sam, not over the phone.
I can't stop it. Stay where you are. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the Lawless Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, Join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Say, have you gotten acquainted with Wild Root Cream Oil yet? Tell you what, mister, if you haven't, even if you don't use any hair tonic at all, why not ask at your drug or toilet goods counter tonight or tomorrow for the brand new 25-cent Get Acquainted bottle of Wild Root Cream Oil. You like the way Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. You never dreamed one hair tonic could do so much. So give it a try. Get the generous new 25-cent bottle of Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
I think I'm getting it now.
You even lost your shoes.
Ready, sweetheart?
Yes, Sam.
No questions?
No, Sam.
That picture in the paper doesn't mean a thing, Effie. There was nothing between Virginia and me.
Just wasn't room.
Well, that bambuco, you know, that's the way we dance it. Authentic.
Sam, I troubled to call my girlfriend, Edna Mae Schwartz, who is an instructor at Arthur Murray's.
Mm-hmm.
I quote, "The partners exchange graceful nods in the center of the dance floor and then separate.
Well,
As the senorita provocatively leads the pursuing caballero through a series of gay whirls, turns, and figures."
There, you see, provocative.
But he never catches her, Sam.
Well, I had my shoes off. That gave me the advantage.
You know best, Sam.
Well, that clears that up. Date?
August 29th.
I will give the date. Fill it in.
That still doesn't explain your operating on the wrong side of the law.
Down, Effie. This goes to John M. Lawless.
A known gangster.
What else? From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Dun, 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 dun.
Boom.
Well, thank you, Effie. Subject, Joe Morales. Dear Johnny, you hired me yesterday morning, but the real start of it was back in 45. Flashback. San Francisco was just recovering from VJ Day, and crime was practically at a standstill because your number one competitor in the West Coast mobs had just been rubbed out, and you were on trial for same. Nothing about the trial made any sense. The tea-time chatter in the better pool rooms was that you were taking the rap for your worst enemy, Joe Morales. What made even less sense, the lawyer defending you was Joe's brother. So I wasn't a bit surprised to receive your check for $25, together with an invitation to be in the third row of the courtroom when the jury returned the verdict. I was.
The defendant will please rise. Step forward, please. Have you anything to say why judgment of this court should not be passed upon you?
Yeah. It's a bad beef.
The judgment of this court is that you, John Lawless, for the crime of manslaughter, having feloniously run over, and killed with a certain automobile the deceased person named in the indictment, and having subsequently departed the scene in violation of the hit-and-run statute, are hereby sentenced to a term of 3 to 10 years in the state prison of the state of California.
You didn't even look at the judge while he was dishing it out. Your eyes were on the man sitting directly in front of me. The man you were supposed to be taking the rap for. The man you had deliberately planted me behind, Joe Morales. I wondered what that meant. When the judge brought down his gavel, I found out. You came up the aisle with a deputy on one arm and your lawyer on the other. He seemed upset about something.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I did the best I could. They've given me the judge I asked
You
for.
passed on the jury, you cheap shyster.
Okay, just wait till you get my bill.
Shut up. Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. I want to speak to a friend.
Hey, Johnny, hurry it. We got a train to catch.
Hey, you, Joe.
Yeah, Johnny?
I got just this to say to you. I'm going up, but I'm not staying, see? If I'm not paroled out in 3, I'll break out. Either way, I'll get you, even if it means a murder rap.
Oh, now listen, Johnny.
You heard me, Spade?
Yeah, Johnny, I wish I hadn't.
Well, Johnny, we gotta go.
Okay. Don't forget what I said, Joe. So long, Sam.
Good luck, Johnny.
Hey, Sally.
Yeah, Joe?
You hear what he said?
I know.
He's gonna knock me. This guy's a witness named Spade. Spade, my brother Sally.
Salvador Morales. You may have heard of me.
Yeah, if I'm ever up in a hit and run, remind me not to hire you.
Come along, Spade, where we can talk quietly. Just over here. My conference room.
Look, we got nothing to talk about.
Oh, yes, we have.
Watch it. I just got this suit pressed.
Yeah, right in here.
Sally, is it all over? How did it come out?
Where were you?
In the air. I couldn't force myself to stay out there. What did he get?
3 to 10.
3 to 10. Is that... Oh, I mean, how terrible. How terrible.
Best I could do. This is Sam Spade, my dear. It's Virginia Vale, Johnny Lawless's fiancée.
The San Quentin widow.
Well, how's Trex, Virginia?
Why did they bring you here?
Maybe they know.
He's a witness.
Witness?
To a threat Johnny made against my brother's life. My own client.
What's funny?
Ask your brother. That threat would even get you a writ against him to keep the peace.
What do you mean, Sam?
Sweetheart, threats don't mean anything in law unless they're backed up by some action. Even if he told you the when, the where, and the how, it wouldn't be worth anything until you're dead.
But it would be worth something then?
Sure, it shows premeditation.
Then if he knew he was overheard and you'd be forced to testify if anything happened to Joe...
Hey, beautiful. What are you trying to do to me?
Well, I mean, he'd think twice before he tried anything. You'd be safe, Joe.
Well, honey, I didn't know you cared.
About you, I don't. I just wouldn't want Johnny to do anything foolish.
End of flashback. That was 3 years ago. A lot of big news has broken since then, but the only items that interested you in San Quentin were printed on the inside pages of the local press. Item: Virginia Vale, your fiancée, got herself engaged to Joe Morales, your worst enemy. And item: Salvador Sally Morales, your mouthpiece, had taken over your mob. Which brings us up to yesterday morning. Yeah?
That you, Sam?
Who's this?
Johnny Lawless, remember me?
No.
I was hoping you'd say that. Look, Sam, I got a job for you.
Call Peeper Breen. He may need it bad enough.
I've got no contacts in the mobs anymore. This is clean.
How clean?
A chance to save an innocent man from the gas chamber.
Well,
There's $1,000 in it for you.
Wait till I get a pencil. Now, what was the address?
The Alma Arms on Pine Street near Jones.
Yeah?
Buzz me 3 times. 1 long, 2 short. And make sure there's no one on your tail.
Got it. I was not tailed. I found your name on the bell panel, buzzed 1 long and 2 short, and the automatic lock clicked me in. You were waiting 1 flight up in the open door of your apartment. You didn't say anything, just made sure it was me, motioned me inside, locked the door, and led me back to a bedroom.
Well, there it is, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Joe Morales. Dead about 3 hours, I'd say. 4 slugs, chest, shoulder, and head. Looks like amateur work, a professional aims for the belly, or did you mean it to look like an amateur job?
Would I be sap enough to drop him in my own apartment? Besides, he's my lawyer's brother, and I might need Sally again.
Why did you call me?
Well, you heard what I said to Joe after the trial.
Who told you that, Virginia?
Yeah, but she didn't have to. Didn't I ask you to sit there?
Oh, that's one thing that worries me.
Look, let's go in the other room, huh? I feel like a drink. Well, here's my pitch, Sam. I checked out of San Quentin yesterday morning. I didn't have a mark against me. The warden himself put my case before the parole board. He called me the ideal prisoner.
Shall we dance?
Okay, Sam, okay. But a man can change a lot in 3 years. So can a woman. Virginia met me at the gate when we drove into the city. We didn't have a thing to say to each other. The way I felt by the time the ride was over, Joe could have her and welcome. I had other plans.
Such as?
Well, the parole board was getting me a job with a mining firm, a surveyor. I took a course up at Quentin.
You seriously expect me to swallow this line of guff?
Listen, you don't get fat making a living on the mace. Take half of these guys you hear telling the world what wonders they are at puffing boxes, knocking over joints, and the rest of the lays. Yeah, not half of them make 3 meals a day at it. Then what chance has a guy without a regular racket? And, brother, that's me.
I'll buy that for now. Let's talk about that dead body.
All right. Well, I called Joe on the phone this morning, see, and I told him to meet me here at 3 this afternoon. I wanted to tell him, forget about what I said about how I was going to get him. Not that I wanted to write off that rap I took for him. But if he was scared, he might come gunning for me. I might have to break parole to defend myself. About Virginia, like I told you, we got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it was beautiful while it lasted. So he was due here at 3, huh?
Huh? Yeah. I was held up. As a matter of fact, I was with my lawyer at the time.
Sally?
Yeah, I phoned the building and told the superintendent to let Joe in, and then I got here about 4:15. But I didn't find him till just before 6 when I called you, Sam.
How come?
Well, I just didn't look in the bedroom. I figured he got tired waiting and left, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, Johnny, assuming your story is true, and if it isn't, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, who do you think did it?
Well, that depends on why. If it was somebody gunning for him, it would depend on what's going in the mob since I've been in Clinton. You know more about that than I do. If it was somebody trying to frame me...
What do you mean, trying?
Hey, wait a minute.
I got a phone homicide. You must have known that when you called me.
Yeah, that's why I ripped the wires out.
That's cute. That's very cute.
Oh,
that makes you look real good.
Look, Sam, look. I'm not asking you to do anything extracurricular. Sure, you have to yell cop, but you'll do it over a pay station downstairs. And by the time anybody can get back up here, that stiff will be out.
It will. Well, how's that going to be done?
I got a friend in the undertaking business. Met him up at Quinton. He just installed a new crematorium.
You should have called him first.
I did, but I can call him off.
You're stir-happy.
Look, Sam, how about it, huh? So the cops come in tonight, tomorrow. Who cares? Not Joe, the weather he'll keep. What do you say, Sam? What do you say?
I say you're probably bluffing, that you got no way of getting rid of the stiff, but on the outside chance that you might not be bluffing, I'll swing along with you for a couple of hours. If I don't turn up anything by then, the deal is off.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but this isn't...
Hey!
Sorry, I got to do it. I hated to do it, Johnny. You were out of condition and you weren't expecting it. But I wanted you to look like a hospital case. After you went down and out, I transferred my fee from your wallet to mine, examined your wounds, and decided you were good for 2 hours at St. Agnes Hospital, where I know the head nurse. Incidentally, that reminds me. So without further delay, I toted you downstairs, threw you into a taxi, and delivered you to the ambulance entrance. That's when I remembered that I had forgotten one thing. I hadn't given you a chance to call off your alleged undertaker friend. I was sure that part of your story was bluff, but just to make sure, I rushed back to your apartment in less time than it takes the average undertaker to back his hearse out of the garage, I thought. When I got there, I wasn't so sure. The apartment had been tidied up, ashtrays emptied, glasses put away. They'd even vacuumed the rug. The blood-stained bedspread had been removed, and with it, the corpus delicti. I found myself humming an old tune. I ain't got no body.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Lawless Caper, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
In most murder cases, there are too many suspects, too many motives, and too many clues from the very beginning. I'd been on this one 3 hours, and I succeeded in turning up no suspects, no clues, and the most shameful thing of all, I had lost the body of the victim. I consoled myself with the thought that he was in no condition to tell me anything anyway. But then neither were you, Johnny. You'd checked out of the hospital, no forwarding address. But in a gin mill down in the Mission, I found a character with the unlikely name of Porky Grout. Porky is theoretically alive and will tell all he knows about anybody, which is plenty, for 2 fingers of rye. I gave him a handful. Easy.
The Joe Morales mob.
Yeah.
They dusted this town. They moved to Las Vegas 5-6 months ago.
How come Joe stayed in San Francisco?
Him and his brother had a beef with each other.
That's Sally Morales, the lawyer?
Yeah, the mouthpiece.
Not too close. What was it all about?
That dame, Virginia Vale. Yeah, after she and Joe framed Johnny Lawless on that hit-and-run job, they disagreed on methods of administration.
Not so close.
So she and Sally team up. And Sally uses his business connections to pull off this big combine, you see?
Yeah, I heard of it, Las Vegas. How do I get to Sally?
My throat's dry. I can't hardly talk.
Hey, Riley, put out the bottle. And bring an airwick.
Yeah, that's right. Oop, so sloppy.
Easy, I'll help you. Great, huh? Great stuff. Not too close.
Now, when do you want to get to him? Tonight?
Right now.
Let me see now. The dame don't dance to nothing but rumba music, and she don't drink nothing but imported French champagne.
Yeah.
Furthermore, she don't go nowhere where she don't get her picture taken. And he don't dare take a drink in a place that pays him protection. Well, this being after hours, there's only approximately one place they could be at. That's the Iberia out on Van Ness.
Yeah. Thank you and good night, Porky Grout. If your friends won't tell you, I will.
What?
Please don't bother to answer. I didn't have any trouble picking out their table. Virginia spotted me at about the same time, grabbed up her purse, muttered an excuse to her escort, and edged around the dance floor. She caught me in the middle of a bambuco, a combination of a rumba, a samba, and guaracha, and whirled me lightly out onto the floor. I followed as best I could.
Listen, you shouldn't have come here.
How did I know our first dance would be a bambuco?
You danced divinely, but you must leave at once. Sally is insanely jealous, and he's in an especially bad mood tonight.
Yeah, so am I.
I know why you came.
You one up on me.
Johnny Lawless has been in touch with you, hasn't he?
You talked to him since yesterday morning?
No. He's bound to get in touch with you. I don't know what story he's told you, but don't believe a word of it. He only wants to get you out of the way so he can get back at Joe. Joe thinks Joe framed him into San Quentin.
You can stop worrying about Joe.
Sam, what are you...
He's dead, if that's news to you.
I think you'd better talk to Sally after all. Come on.
I was just getting the hang of it.
Well, my dear, so you've met another old friend.
Hello, Sally.
Hello. Sit down, Spade.
Thanks.
Sally.
Huh?
Sam says Joe is dead.
Joe? Murdered?
Yeah.
Well, it was bound to happen. I warned him to get out of town before Johnny Lawless came back.
Johnny says he was with you when it happened.
Juries don't go for alibis, Spade. Best defense I could give him would be that I defend him despite the fact he's accused of killing my own brother. But look here. As his attorney, I have the right to know what he retained you for.
To find out who did kill Joe. That's what he said.
Have you found out?
Not yet.
Any leads?
Not many.
Now, what's the difficulty?
The corpse. Somebody swiped it.
You can't mean that.
I can, and I do.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Unless Johnny arranged it himself. But he couldn't have. No contacts. Of course, he might have disposed of it without help. It's been done, you know.
Not tonight. I'm his alibi there.
I don't believe it. You're just telling that story to see how we'll react.
That's why I'm telling it, but it's not a story. It's the McCoy.
Sally, what can it mean? If Johnny didn't do it, then somebody must have done it to frame him. And if they did that, they wouldn't turn around and get rid of the evidence, would they?
What? Well, the whole thing is wild.
You know, there might have been two people who thought they were a team, but one of them was really working against the other and for Johnny.
Huh?
Well, that's absurd, isn't it, Sally?
Is it, my dear?
He's trying to play us off against each other. Don't fall for it, Sally. I had nothing to do with any of it. You've got to believe that.
Yes, I was sure of you when Johnny was out of the way.
You wanted him out of the way. You admitted.
You're still in love with him, aren't you? Oh, aren't you?
Alice, you're hurting me.
Hurting? I'll help the DA write his brief. You'll go to Tehachapi for body snatching.
Go ahead. I can't wait to get on the stand. The things I'll tell about you. How you let Johnny go up on that hit and run when you knew it was my idea and I was in the car with Joe.
You will. Not a jury in the country would blame me for protecting my own brother.
Protecting him? You were framing it even then. So you can have me for yourself.
Oh, I'll have you in the gas chamber if you keep insisting.
Your own brother. Squeeze out of that one if you can.
How about the body?
Love of woman surpasses brotherly love. I can see the jury now, eating it up. Victim of a designing woman caught in the toilet.
Nuts. I don't care whether either of you is guilty or both or neither or whatever. If I get that body back tonight, I'll let the cops worry about it. If I don't, I'll confess to everything myself and name all three of you as accomplices.
All right, Spade. You say your only concern is that body.
Right.
Here's $500. Another $500 when you find it, huh? Does that convince you?
Well, it helps.
Here, my diamonds. Take them all.
No, keep the diamonds, Virginia. If Sally gets sent up first, you'll need them for your defense. Think it over, kids. I'm calling the cops right now. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's 1 foot back.
Homicide, Lieutenant Garrett.
Roy, Sam Spade. Where's Dundee?
Oh, he's asleep. Sam, I've been trying to reach you.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Why, sure, about Johnny Lawless. Is there something we don't know, Sam?
Well, I'll come down and give you a statement. It's about Joe Morales.
Well, what about him?
Well, he got knocked off, and somebody lifted the corpse.
Oh, Sam, nobody lifted it.
Then who did?
We picked it up, Sam, right after you called us.
Right after Oh, yeah. Yeah, what time was that?
Let's see, I got it here. 20 minutes past 6. Lose your watch?
That ain't all.
What's that, Sam?
Call you back. What's up, Sally?
Come out of there.
Well, I wasn't planning to spend the night in a phone booth. Why the heater?
It's for you, Sam.
You must be nuts pulling a gun in a crowded joint like this.
Hey, stop looking at it. Come on. Up those stairs.
Now, look, Sally.
In there.
Easy. Where's your girlfriend?
Well, I sent her home, Sam. She can't stand the sight of blood.
You clown.
Oh. You were pretty funny, too, when you made that phone call. I didn't believe you'd go through with it.
What makes you think I'm interested in that old rap? Johnny's already done the time for it. Joe can't talk, and I don't want to.
I don't care what you want. It's what I want. That's what counts.
Does it? You want it, Virginia? You got it.
Oh, not the point. Just doesn't sound good. Salvador Morella's sweetheart going up on a murder rap.
Well, you trimmed it down to manslaughter for Johnny Lawless, and she's enough prettier to rate an acquittal, or are we talking about the same killing? You think Virginia killed Joe Morales, don't you? Why? Because she seems so anxious to pin it on Johnny Lawless.
Well?
Well, nothing. Only I've got a score to settle with Johnny Lawless myself, you see. He left me out in a limb with that body snatch. If I can pin the killing on him, I got a story for the cops. Now, show how smart you are. Shoot me.
I fully intend to.
Now, look.
Well, hold it, Sally.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey, you can do it yourself, Johnny. I was going to do it for you, but you can do it yourself.
I don't get it.
He's trying to pin that murder on you, Johnny.
Like you pinned that old hit and run on me?
It's not the same, Johnny. Joe's killing is worth life if you're lucky.
I never had much luck.
Let him have it, Johnny. What have you got to lose? Well, you want me to?
No. Step back, Sally. Okay. He dead?
Yeah. You planned it different, didn't you, Johnny?
Yeah, but I might as well get two for the price of one. Yeah, I planned it different, but I don't seem to care anymore.
Well, then you won't need that.
Huh?
Sorry, Johnny. By the way, I'd like to thank you for keeping me in the clear.
How come?
That phone call you made the homicide using my name. Without that, I might be going up with you.
How'd you figure it?
Nobody but you had anything to gain by making that body seem to disappear. You knew I wouldn't check with the police till I'd made a try at locating it on my own. You knew I'd use the disappearance as a handle to shake what I could out of Sally and Virginia. You knew they'd suspect each other because I had you alibied at the time of the body snatch, and that would start them screaming accusations at each other.
Did they say enough to send them up?
Yeah, I don't know how much will stick, but enough.
They both admit Joe did that hit-and-run job I was sent up for?
He and Virginia together.
So she was with him. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to know that. Now it sounds good.
I didn't think it really sounded good to you. I was sorry to hear it myself, and after all, I'd only danced the bambuco with a mouse. I'm sorry things turned out the way they did, and it's a little late to be making with the advice, but, well, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after glade.
Of what?
And as you say, what chance has a man got without a regular racket? Period. End of report.
Well, heavens to Betsy.
Oh.
How can you be so sympathetic with a girl who did all those terrible things?
Oh, I know, F. I know. It's a silly dance, but she looked cute while she was doing it.
I don't mean the dance.
You mean the best laid plans?
What does that mean, Sam? That gang aft to glade?
I'll give you a hint, sweetheart. It's something you never need worry about.
No.
Here's why, men. Here's why Wild Root Cream Oil is again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally without giving it that plastered-down look. Wild Root Cream Oil relieves annoying dryness and removes that loose, ugly dandruff. So if you're not using it now, or if you're not using any hair tonic, get Wild Root Cream Oil at your drug or toilet goods counter in the new 25-cent Get Acquainted size bottle. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Well, here it is, Sam. My, terribly confusing.
I sensed that somehow.
Who was that hit-and-run victim?
Well, they named that dance after him, George L. Bambuco.
I don't believe it. Sam, what does it mean? What does it mean? You know.
Gang after glay? Snafu.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Dialects yet. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dow. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin with score composed by Renee Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie, keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
50,000 Americans die from tuberculosis every year. Yet tuberculosis is curable. The disease can be wiped out. The secret is discover it in its early stages. Why not be sure you and your family don't have tuberculosis by getting a chest X-ray right away? This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Listen, you phone down to the drugstore and tell them to send up 3 gallons of black coffee.
Who is this? Are you sure you have the right number?
I'm sure I've got the right number, but I'm not so sure who I am.
Oh, Sam, it's you. You must have had a frog in your throat. Did you oversleep?
Effie, don't say things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. Oh, you poor dear. You've been working. You're tired, that's it.
Tired? I've only just brought Lazarus back from the dead.
Well, then you better get some rest, Sam. You can dictate your report tomorrow.
That's what you think. Now stay where you are. If I'm asleep when I get there, wake me up. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the Lazarus Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, Join their talent to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Next time you buy hair tonic, be sure you buy Wild Root Cream Oil. For you see, Wild Root Cream Oil gives you these advantages. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, removes loose, ugly dandruff. Wild Root Cream Oil is non-alcoholic and contains soothing lanolin, so much like the natural oil of your skin. Yes, friends, next time you buy hair tonic, look for that famous name, Wild Root. Get Wild Root Cream Oil hair tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade. Effie!
Yes, Sam, in your private office.
Yeah, private, she says. I'd like to know what's private about it.
I have everything ready for you, Sam.
What's this?
Ovaltine, to relax.
I don't want to relax. I don't dare.
Oh, there you go again, Sam. Going on nerves. How long do you think you can keep it up?
With your help, I'll be in a coma inside 3 minutes.
Thank you, Sam. Now, you just lie down here on the couch and I'll take your shoes off.
Now, look,
And I can take dictation while you relax.
Nuts. Where's that black coffee?
Sam, you're angry with me. Your eyes. Please don't glare at me like that, Sam. I can't bear it when you...
I am not glaring. I'm trying to keep them open. Now, sit down. I got to keep moving around. Moving around.
Ride yourself like this, Sam.
Please, Effie, please. Date, fill it in.
It's your life. Go on. Burn yourself at both ends.
Let's see. To A.J. Tatspaw, claims manager, All Risk Insurance Company, Tide Building, San Francisco. From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Dear Sir, the following is an accounting of my services to your company in connection with a claim of Emma R. Lazarus on the life of the assured Timothy R. Lazarus. The latter called at my office yesterday at approximately 11:30 a.m. He was tall, bald, gray-faced, and dusty. He looked as if he'd been buried and dug up several times.
This may sound like a poor sort of jest, Mr. Spade, but my name is Lazarus, and I want you to bring me back from the dead.
Well, sounds interesting. Why did you die? When did you die? And how did you die?
I was declared dead by the appellate court of the state of California August 28th last year by reason of 7 years' absence.
Who took it to court?
My wife, Emma.
Insurance?
Yes. My wife and I agreed between ourselves to insure my life in the amount of $100,000 that she would collect on legal presumption of death after my disappearance and continued absence for 7 years. That's the law, Mr. Spade.
Yeah, it's been tried a lot of times. What went wrong in your case? Wife double-cross you?
If that's your attitude, I'm afraid I've come to the wrong man.
Uh-huh. You're still in love with her. Well, that makes it tough. You know they'll nail her for perjury if you prove you're still alive?
That's why I didn't go to the police. Even though we planned the deception together, she had reason to believe that I was actually dead.
Suppose you cover the whole thing from the beginning, Mr. Lazarus.
Yes. I married her back in 1940. And for a while we were happy. And then she became arrested.
You mean you were not able to support her in the manner to which she was accustomed? She was young, lovely, you wanted her to have nice things, but on your meager salary it was impossible.
Oh, I know, it's an old story, but life is like that.
Well, you said it.
Yeah, well, there you are. I was assistant cashier at the Golden Gate Bank.
Oh, no, not that.
I started taking small sums at first, meaning to repay them later on.
Let's not go through the whole script. How much did you embezzle?
$20,000.
Yeah, so you decided to take it on the lam before the auditors came in, and...
I was going to give myself up, but Emma wouldn't let me. We made our plans that night, and I left for Mexico the following day. In Mexico City, I had plastic surgery done on my face, and then I settled down to wait for 7 long years until I would be declared legally dead. I suppose you might call it poetic justice, but just before the end of the 7th year, I contracted malaria. I was confined to a hospital for more than 11 months.
You have had it.
Oh, the doctors gave me up for dead and asked me to notify my next of kin. I gave them Emma's address. I never notified her to the contrary because it seemed to fit in so well with our plan.
Too well, huh?
Yes. I'd been to see her, and she refuses to believe that I am her husband. Oh, of course, my appearance is very much altered, but there must be some way to prove my identity.
You worked in a bank. They must have taken your fingerprints.
I removed them from the files and destroyed them.
How are your teeth?
My teeth?
Teeth. Who was your dentist here in town?
Dr. Smith, the great professional building.
He'll still have your dental x-rays on file. They're as good as fingerprints. You go there this afternoon. Don't give your name. Tell them you're Mark Humboldt. Have a new set of x-rays taken, and I'll do the rest. What's your wife doing these days?
Why, Emma's married again.
Who's the sucker?
Pardon me?
The man.
Oh, he's a doctor. Dr. Ernst Wilhelm.
Wilhelm?
He's quite well known, I believe.
Yeah, and the cops would like to know more. Now, about my fee.
Mr. Spade, I have no money.
Oh, that's great. You have no money, and all you want is to hire a man to bring you back from the dead. And the more I succeed, the less chance I'll have of collecting.
If I might make a suggestion, Mr. Spade, I don't know the ethics, but perhaps the insurance company? You would be doing them a great service.
I think you're going to live, Mr. Lazarus. They can't keep a good man down. I'll collect from them. I knew there wasn't a chance in 100,000 of shaking a fee out of your company. After all, you have your own investigators in the payroll, and contract work isn't deductible under the new tax law, but something about Lazarus had gotten to me. Something else about him got to me at the Blue Bottle Bar and Grill, where I stopped for lunch.
Mr. Spade?
Yes, indeedy.
I'm Emma Wilhelm, Mr. Spade.
Emma Lazarus Wilhelm?
I see you do know who I am. May I sit down?
Slide in, Mrs. Wilhelm.
Thank you. I'm glad to know you have a sense of humor, Mr. Spade. It's about that man, of course. Surely you didn't believe a word of his story.
Which word?
Oh, I'll admit there are slight traces of the truth in his raving. My first husband, Timothy Lazarus, was an embezzler. He did disappear, and it's quite true that I have collected the insurance on his life. I might even believe that Tim is still alive. But that man is not he.
Then what are you so upset about?
Oh, it's perfectly obvious what he wants. He's an extortionist.
You're wrong. He doesn't want money, Mrs. Wilhelm. He wants you.
Oh. Mr. Spade, how much do you know about my husband?
Which one?
Don't be flippant.
Dr. Ernest Wilhelm. He made his first million panning lead nuggets out of gang war casualties and lost it on the stock market. He cut his second million out of Nob Hill and called it surgery. He lost that on horses, blondes, and malpractice suits. The last time he was mentioned in the paper, there was a big picture of him pumping sleeping pills out of the stomach of an aging burlesque queen. It may or may not have been coincidence that she did not recover, and that she was the ex-girlfriend of one of our better-known racetrack haberdashers, and if he got $100 for the job, he was paid off in booze.
Please don't say any more. That poor girl. And she'll do the same thing to me.
Well,
if you persist in helping that imposter, you'll be responsible for whatever happens to me or anyone else you involve.
Anything else I should know?
Yes. Both you and your client are being watched and followed. You can't escape him. He's not quite the has-been you'd like to think he is.
After she had gone, I scraped the tears off my butter, finished my lunch, washed my hands with a nationally advertised soap, and mushed over to the Drake Professional Building. I found my client's dentist in his lab polishing up a set of gold inlays.
Humboldt? Yes, his x-rays have come through. Only set today. They're on the clamp there. Don't touch them, they're not dry.
Oh, sorry.
What's your interest? Police identification?
You guessed it.
Always happy to cooperate.
Thanks. How about digging in your files for the x-rays on a patient named Lazarus?
Oh, yes, the graduate, of course. Well, let's see now. Labby, Lavelle, Lawrence, Lawson, Gluskin. That's a G. What's that doing here? Ah, Lazarus. Timothy R. Is that your name?
That's the name.
Jimmy, April 1940. Should have been in for dental hygiene. Have to remind Miss Baker. That's my name.
These pictures, how do they compare with this new set?
Well, let's have a look. Switch on the light there, will you please? Let's see. Malocclusion, impacted third molar. Erosion inlay. Yes, it's very interesting.
You mean they're the same in both sets of pictures?
Oh, dear, no.
A man's mouth could change a lot in 7 years, couldn't it?
Yes, especially with dental neglect, but that would never cause a man to grow new teeth.
Oh, well.
You see here, Humboldt has one more lower incisor and two more molars than Lazarus. And the whole character of the mouth is different. Now, these two men would not look even faintly alike.
Well, could there have been some mistake in filing?
Oh, dear, no. Miss Baker's been with me for 10 years. Never made a mistake yet.
Could I talk to her?
Not in today. Been out since Tuesday. It's cold. Oh, say, by the way, you're a detective. How's this for a mystery? She phoned me this morning and thanked me for sending a doctor around to examine her. Now, this is the peculiar part. I have no recollection of having done so, and I'm not acquainted with the doctor she said I sent her.
That wouldn't be a Dr. Ernst Wilhelm.
Why, yes. Wilhelm. That was the name.
Do me another favor, will you? Call a doctor you do know and tell him to get over there as fast as he can. Come on, open up.
Get your shirt on. I will come in as fast as I can. What you want, kiddo?
What's in Miss Baker's room?
She's sick. Ain't having no callers.
I'm her doctor.
Oh, you can't fool me. Where's your little black bag?
If I had one, it would be around your neck. Now, march. Show me the way.
You can't force me. I know my rights.
Oh, you do you? Well, it might interest you know that your vents are faulty, your wiring is illegal, your drains are unsanitary, and your apron is dirty.
Them's rust stains. I'm needing repair.
You're as neat as a mud pie. Now, get going before I have the Board of Health down on you.
All right, but you can't make me climb them stairs.
Come on.
That's sciatica I have. Here's the key.
Okay.
First door to the right. Whatever key's got, I hope you catch it.
Thank you, Elsa Maxwell. She was stretched out on the bed, her left arm twisted under her and her right dangling over the edge. On the floor beneath it was an empty pill bottle. A few red capsules were scattered near it, and some more were spilled out among the bedclothes. It was a standard sleeping pill suicide scene, but I didn't believe it. The body was still warm, but no pulse. I didn't waste time getting her the mirror test. Instead, I looked around for a phone. It was on a table near a window. I meant to dial the police number, Sutter 12020, but SU was as far as I got. Felt like a bee sting or a quick jab with a needle. I spun around and strung out blindly. The face that I missed was suntanned under a shock of iron gray hair. He was wearing the same white-toothed grin that Dr. Ernst Wilhelm always wore at the newspaper photographers. I started towards him, and he backed away, still grinning.
Come ahead, Spade. Come and get me, but hurry. You have only 20 seconds more. Shall I count them off? So far, you have 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The floor kept dropping a foot at a time as I walked toward him. But every time I got to the bottom of the incline, it tilted up the other way, and I slipped back. He kept dropping out of sight, and every time I got him back into my line of vision, he was farther away. The walls of the room opened out and disappeared into some clouds. The ceiling spun around faster and faster until it whirled away like one of those flying discs. Then the floor turned into gelatin, and I sank in it.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Lazarus Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
The dream lasted about 300 years. Around Christmas time in the year 2247, another bee stung me. I opened my eyes, but the lights on the tree were too bright, and Santa Claus was bending over me with a brandy breath.
Come on, man. Come on. Little willpower. You're conscious. That's it. Yeah, sensation returning. Here, try and sit up.
There's a girl. How about her?
Too late. Did everything I could. Suicide pact?
Well, one of your brothers in Apollo was a little too handy with a needle. Here's the mark on my arm, and you'll find one on that stiff. Those sleeping capsules were a plant to make it look like suicide.
You'll be feeling better soon. Now, come along. Up on your feet. Must keep moving. Restore circulation. Hip. There.
Thanks. You the man Dr. Smith called?
Yes. So you're a private detective. How do you feel now?
I'm still dopey. You give me something to pick me up?
I've given you as much stimulant as it's safe to administer. For the rest, you'll have to sleep it off. And you will. I advise you to hurry home. Get into bed before this wears off.
How long have I got?
Couple of hours if you keep moving, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But if I were you, I wouldn't stay out. Don't want to fall asleep in the middle of Market Street, get run over by a bus.
Worst things can happen to you in your own bed. Look at her.
Murder? Think you can prove it?
I don't know.
I couldn't. Not on her. And I've been an autopsy surgeon for 20 years.
Well, cheer up, Doctor. If you miss on her, you may get a second chance.
Huh?
Yeah, me.
Those eyes are looking better. I think you'll live.
I wasn't so sure. Unless I could nail Wilhelm before my 3 hours was up, it was a safe bet he'd nail me again with that needle. He had done me one favor. He'd convinced me that my client was really the man he claimed to be and that Wilhelm and Emma knew it. My best hope of smoking him out was to dig out some solid proof. I spent 10 minutes of my 3 hours getting to the Hall of Records and 10 more finding out there was nothing there on Lazarus but his death certificate. I had a gander at the wanted file at police headquarters. They'd checked him out in August of 47 when the court had pronounced him dead. I looked at my watch. With 2 hours and 17 minutes of wakefulness left, I just didn't have time. I stopped by Lazarus' hotel, got a set of his fingerprints and several samples of his signature, took them to a penman I know down on the Mission, and between us we forged the most amazing set of documents ever assembled on one man. All dated, notarized, certified, witnessed, registered. One even bore the great seal of the state of California and the signature of the governor. I squeezed them all into a large briefcase, propped my eyes open with toothpicks while I drank half a gallon of black coffee, then phoned Dr. Wilhelm's night number. I told him I was one of Russian Leo's boys, and a cop had just winged me on the lam from a jewelry store job. He agreed to meet me at his office. Hello, Wilhelm.
Yes?
Is that all you got to say to the guy you knocked off an hour ago?
I'm afraid I don't quite follow. Who are you?
Look, I know that you know, and you know that I know. We even wrote a song about it, so let's get off the dime and don't reach for a needle. This gun is bigger and it shoots farther.
Well, I can see you mean business. What do you want?
First, I want to show you a few things. Here, take a look.
Well, this is very impressive.
Yeah, I thought you'd be impressed. You, need any more proof that Lazarus is Lazarus?
What's the matter, Spade? Getting sleepy?
Don't get your hopes up. I can squeeze this trigger in my sleep.
Are these papers for sale?
Why do you think I brought them to you?
What's the price?
Half the take on Lazarus' insurance.
That's very high.
I haven't finished. This time, Lazarus has got to be really dead, and you're going to do the job. Come on, stop stalling.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Why, Emma, she'll make trouble. She said she would.
She's still in love with him?
Why do you say that?
I just wondered. What reason did she give you for not wanting him knocked off?
Well, the cops work harder at identifying a dead man than they do a live derelict that looks and talks like a crank. I had the same idea myself.
Then you're stupid. With him dead, she can tell any story she wants to. With him alive and all this proof of identity, he's in a position to nail both of you for fraud, conspiracy, perjury. Shall I go on?
One thing. Does Emma know about these papers?
Sure.
You're lying.
Sure I'm lying. And those documents are forgeries if that's the way you want it. I haven't got time to argue. I can't stay awake much longer, and you can't bring it off without me. I'll have Lazarus at my apartment in 30 minutes. Bring your needle and the $50,000.
All right, Spade. I'll be there.
I made 2 phone calls on my way to pick up Lazarus, one to Emma and one to Lieutenant Erlinger of homicide. Dundee was asleep. The lieutenant and Sergeant Fullhouse were perched on the fire escape outside my window, and Emma was waiting in the living room when we got there.
Jim. Oh, my poor darling.
Emma, do you recognize me?
Of course, darling, from the beginning. But I didn't dare speak out in front of Aunt.
I know. Mr. Spade told me.
Now, listen to me, you two. You're sure you can go through with this?
Oh, are you sure there's no danger?
That's him now. Come on, Lazarus, get in the bedroom there. Now, do what I told you.
Don't worry, Emma.
Oh, I'm so frightened.
Quiet.
Hello, Spade. I got here just at... Emma, what are you doing here?
Mr. Spade told me. I agreed. It's the only thing to do. I wanted you to know that.
Well, I'm glad to see that you've come to your senses for a while there. You see, you were wrong, Spade.
Did you bring the stuff?
Here's your money. I have a hypodermic in the case here, and it's already loaded. We won't need a sterile needle. Where is he?
In there on the bed. He was asleep a minute ago. The grogginess that had kept coming back over me in waves for the last 2 hours swirled over me again as Wilhelm leaned over the bed where Lazarus lay, stretched out with his eyes closed. For a split second, I blanked out, and I was afraid it had already happened. But then I saw Wilhelm's hand coming down in an oblique angle toward Lazarus's forearm. Then my vision blurred again, and my arms felt too heavy to lift. It was Emma's scream that jolted me back. I clawed out blindly.
You let go of it. You get it in your own arm. Let go. Why, you double-crossing...
Now, here's a little sleeping medicine for you. Okay, boys. Come and get him.
Good boy, Sam. Good boy. We won't forget this.
Yeah, a likely story.
Get that broken glass, Bullhouse. Put it in the Dixie cup. Now, handle it careful. One analyze that medicine. You okay? Who are these people, Sam? Accomplices?
Yeah, but not the homicide.
What about Aunt? They won't let him go free, will they?
Don't worry. He's out of circulation for good.
Mr. Spade.
Yeah, Lazarus.
I don't know how to thank you.
Yes. You don't know what this means to us.
Yes, I do. It probably means another long separation. The state prisons aren't co-ed. But if you insist on being alive, you have to take life as it comes. Period. End of bedtime story.
Oh, Sam, it's so sad. That poor couple, so much in love. But you had to do your duty, didn't you, Sam? They had to pay their debt to society, of course. That's why you had to be so hard and unrelenting and not give in to your better nature.
That's right. That's right. Never give in to the ship. Don't tread on me. There was Hobson's... where was it that Hobson... you may fire when ready.
You know best, Sam. Please go type this up.
And now, listen to this. A good friend of the family. That's Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, folks. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. Now, get Wild Root Cream Oil at your drug or toilet goods counter in a new 25-cent Get Acquainted bottle. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam, wake up.
Well, go away. Your apron's dirty.
Sam, I'm not wearing an apron.
Then why don't you let me sleep?
Sam, you've got to wake up. Your coffee's here.
And tell them I'm in conference.
No, Sam, no. The black coffee. You said to order 3 gallons.
What?
I couldn't carry it all. I'll make another trip. 24 cardboard containers. You'll have to drink it up fast now. They're leaking already.
Abandon ship, all ye who enter here.
Oh,
Sam, what am I going to do with it?
Open the restaurant. Good night.
Oh, good night, Sam.
Number 3 turret, open fire.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Rene Garrigan. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keep on all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
This is Sam, Blackleg Spade, the third most dangerous gambler on the Barbary Coast.
Oh, Sam, not horses again.
Horses, women, and the gaming tables, Effie, the diversions of the elite.
Well, divert yourself with this, Sam. The phone company has sent the pink notice.
Pay it no mind, sweetheart. We are healed. We have hit the cashier's cage, annexed the pot, broken the bank, and we're standing on velvet.
Sam, are you sober?
Definitely velvet. Warm, too.
Sam, from where are you calling from?
You're wrong, Effie. It's a drugstore. Stay where you are. I'll be right down to deal out my report on the hot $100,000 caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. It's smart to buy things the whole family can use, isn't it? That's why I say it's smart to buy Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. To Mom, to Dad, to the children, Wild Root Cream Oil is really a friend indeed. Non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil with lanolin grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, removes loose, ugly dandruff. I hope you have a big family-sized bottle of Wild Root Cream Oil in your home. Get Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
Date, September 19, 1948, to robbery detail, San Francisco Police, attention Sergeant Walsh. From Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Dear Joe. Here's the rundown on that hot $100,000. It started pleasantly enough when my secretary, Miss Effie Perrine, cute little mouse, eased into my private office, closed the door behind her, and leaned back against it with that air of pained resignation, which generally means there's a customer outside that she doesn't approve of, but that I'll see her anyway.
It's up to you, Sam. She's very well dressed, and I imagine she can afford you.
How do you deduce that?
Well, she dropped her purse. I didn't get time to count it all, but there was a $100 bill on top.
Well, sure, in, Effie.
Sam.
Go ahead, say it.
Oh, I don't know, Sam. Sometimes, well, there's just money.
No, that's one of the reasons I hire you. What's the matter with it?
Nothing. That's just it, Sam. She's very good-looking, cultivated, and very kind and considerate. And she seems sincerely troubled.
You mean her act is a little too good?
I felt that too, Sam.
Thanks, Angel. I'll keep that in mind. Tell her to come in.
All right, Sam. Mr. Spade will see you, Mrs. Kilcoy.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Spade.
My pleasure. Won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you. I'm Lorraine Kilcourse, Mr. Spade. It's about my husband, Leonard Kilcourse.
Husband? Oh.
We've only been married a short time. It was a quiet ceremony at the San Pedro Mission. Leonard didn't want to subject me to any publicity. The difference in our ages, you know?
You mean you want me to keep it a secret?
Oh, no, except for the newspapers, of course. Naturally, all of Leonard's friends know.
No, he doesn't have many, from what I've heard.
I thought it strange, too, that such a prominent man should have such a small circle of acquaintances. I met him only a short time before I married him. He's been very kind and absolutely devoted to me, and I suppose I should feel ashamed of myself for coming to you. But there are so many things about him that are mysterious that sometimes I can't seem to find my handkerchief.
Here. Kleenex.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I take it you're not a San Francisco girl.
No, I met him at a dude ranch.
Well, maybe I can clear up some of your mysteries for free. The reason your husband doesn't have many friends is because they keep dropping dead.
I don't understand you.
Oh, forget it. He's a big public servant. He's built a lot of sidewalks. The streets of the city are paved with his good intentions. His name is on 1,000 manhole covers. If the names of his former business associates land on headstones, it's nothing to me. I got my own racket. Well, what?
I think my husband is paying blackmail to someone.
Uh-huh. And upon what do you base your suspicions, Mrs. Kay?
It started about a month ago. He began withdrawing large sums from our joint account. First it was $10,000, then $20,000, and last week, $50,000. Mm-hmm. And this morning, he closed out the balance of the account. $100,000.
Well, he's got it to spend, Mrs. Kilcour.
I won't pretend the money doesn't interest me, but what's behind it, Mr. Spade? Each time he withdraws these cash sums, he leaves the house without a word to me. And sometimes doesn't return until dawn. My husband is not fond of nightlife, Mr. Spade. Only a desperate situation could induce him to leave the house after dark.
Yeah, so I've heard. They say that's how he kept his health as long as he has. All right, you want me to trail him, find out what he does with the money. Just one question. Why'd you pick me for the job?
Why, your reputation...
That's local. You say you're new in San Francisco.
Well, I do read the local papers. Your picture was in only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, that caper didn't help my reputation.
I like your looks. A nice, honest face. A man I could trust.
Well, don't buy that.
And I'm sentimental, too. Your picture reminded me of someone who was very dear to me. My brother. Of course, you're nothing like him, really, but you do look alike. I suppose that sounds like a silly woman's reason for...
Yeah. What's your address?
Well, I have a little place of my own out on Divisadero. The Balboa Apartments near Normandy Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
You'd better keep in touch with me there. I don't want Leonard to know. The Kilcourse mansion is at 1316 Clarendon.
1316.
He returns from his office around 6 in the evening. Do you have a car?
No. Do I need one?
Well, I don't know where he may go. Now, here are the keys to my car. It's parked in front of the main entrance, a gray Plymouth. He won't recognize the car. It's my brother's. Now, about your fee.
$100 now. If I need more, I'll leave you know. I had an uneasy feeling I would need more. The last detective that tried to follow Leonard Kilcourse had hospital insurance. I don't. But I'm a gambler at heart, so I parked Lorraine's Plymouth across the street from the Kilcourse mansion and waited. At 9 p.m., Mr. Kilcourse, much too old for her, came out the front door and flagged down a taxi. I made an illegal U-turn and followed. The trail ended across the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin County. It was a country club-type building on top of a hill overlooking the bay. It did business under the name of Ernie Nogales' Racket Club. The racket had nothing to do with tennis. It came from two sources. The moans and groans of the customers losing money at the roulette wheels and crap tables, and the glad hand the management threw at my quarry as I followed him in.
Well, Mr. Kilgore, surprised to see you. Since when you go out after dark?
Well, I thought a little nightlife might agree with me, Nogales.
Oh, that sounds like you, Mr. Kilgore. I didn't know you better. I think you was afraid to go out night.
Well, now, I was thinking of buying this place to retire to. But I figured it'd be cheaper to win it at your roulette table. What's your limit here?
10,000. But for you, wide open, the sky.
$100 grand for a starter?
Well, any time they catch you with hot money, Mr. Kilgore. Come over to the cashier. I sell you the chips myself.
I didn't have to bother making myself inconspicuous. Everybody in the joint stopped playing to watch Kilcourse while he shoved his $100 grand roll through the cashier's window and scooped up 4 stacks of $1,000 chips.
Make your best, please.
All right, you. Spin that wheel.
Huh? How much you got there?
$25 grand. Any objections?
Is that okay, Mr. Nogales?
Spin it, Joe. I'm covering through the table personally.
Okay, sir. Around and round the little ball goes. 15 pays 15 and the rest.
Maybe next time, Mr. Kilgore. Why don't you double up, play the red and the black? It's safer.
I'll stay with the numbers. 50,000 on 15. Spin it.
It's okay, Joe. I'm still covering.
Well, it's your money, Mr. Nogales. Number 4 pays. Number 4 and the red again.
Well, 25 grand more on 15.
Look, Mr. Kilgore, go on, enjoy yourself. Take it off your income tax, but please spend those. Spread them out a little there, those chips, huh? It looks bad for the house.
What kind of a joint is this? Can't you cover the bets?
Okay, Joe. He asked for it.
Okay, sir.
I didn't wait to see where the little ball went on the last spin of the wheel. I would have made a side bet with any taker that Kilcourse wanted to lose that $100 grand. I would also have made book he knew I was following him. As I left the table and walked out of the club, I braced myself for what usually comes next. There would either be a dead body in the car or somebody would crease my noggin with a sap. But nothing happened. I switched on the headlights and stood in the glare of them for fully a minute, but nobody even shot at me. I flushed the shrubbery, no gunman. Checked the ignition wires, no booby traps. Driving back to town, I racked my brain for some way to bring them out into the open. I felt like a man with his life savings all on one number, waiting for the wheel to stop spinning, which wasn't far from the truth. Not much of a cliffhanger, but the best we could do this week.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the hot $100 grand caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
Yeah?
This Mrs. Kilcourse's apartment?
Yeah?
She here?
Yeah?
Well, can I come in?
Yeah?
Tommy?
Yeah?
Who is that, Mr. Spade?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the detective I was telling you about, Tommy. Remember?
Yeah.
The one who looked so much like you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, excuse me. This is my brother, Tommy Lane.
Yeah. I mean,
Tommy, won't you run down to the corner and buy me some cigarettes for about 20 minutes? I have something to talk over with Mr. Spade.
Yeah.
Nice boy, your brother. Small vocabulary, but big feet.
Well, he's shy. Now, what did you find out about my husband, Mr. Spade?
He dropped $100,000 in a gambling joint. Ernie Nogales' racket club. You know it?
No, but I know Ernie Nogales. I knew him in Reno before I met Leonard. He lost his license there for running a crooked wheel.
The way Kilcourse was playing tonight, that wheel didn't have to be crooked. He was trying to lose that $100,000.
But why? Why would he do a thing like that?
One of two reasons. Either he's paying off to Nogales or he's paying off to somebody else, and Nogales is the go-between.
Well, I don't believe it. Ernie is a crooked gambler, but he doesn't touch blackmail.
And your husband isn't stupid enough to drop $100,000 in 3 turns of a wheel. Anyway, I'm not tangled with him and or the Ernie Nogales mob for $100 of your money or anybody else's. Here, take it.
Well,
and here are your car keys.
No, wait, please. You can't desert me now.
Why not?
Well, I haven't told you everything. I'd hoped I wouldn't have to.
About your brother?
How did you know?
The only place you get a green suntan is in a pokey. Besides, he acts kind of stir-crazy. Spent a little time in solitary, didn't he?
He won't talk about it. But that's it, Sam. That's why Leonard is paying that blackmail money to Nogales.
You just said Nogales wouldn't touch blackmail. Any other corrections you'd like to make in your copy before we proceed?
Yes. Well, I might as well tell you everything.
Why not?
I knew when I came to you this morning that my husband was paying this money to Nogales. I knew because I asked him to.
You and Ernie Nogales are working together?
I'm not that rotten.
I didn't say you were, but you're a rotten liar. There's that much in your favor.
But I'm telling the truth now, Sam. You must believe me. Everything that has happened is my fault. I persuaded Nogales to give my brother a job in his place in Reno.
Mm-hmm.
They quarreled, and when he got closed down, he blamed Tommy. He swore he'd kill him when he got out of prison. That's why I begged my husband to pay him to save Tommy's life.
Who did rat on Nogales about that crooked wheel in Reno?
I did. That's why I feel responsible. Leonard is so fine, so generous. But I can't let him go on paying for my mistake.
Yeah, like you said, he's going to run out of money.
Look at me, Sam. Do I look like the kind of a woman to whom money means everything in the world?
No, but you're looking at me, not at Kilcourse.
You're laughing at me. Oh, I know what you think. Perhaps I did make a mistake in marrying Leonard, but he was so kind, so considerate, like my father.
Everybody reminds you of your relatives.
You don't believe my story?
Well, since you asked.
Well, all right, then here's the truth. I'm really Jack the Ripper's granddaughter. My parents were terribly wealthy. I harpooned my mother in her Beverly Hills swimming pool, set fire to my father with a $50,000 negotiable bond, and eloped with John Wilkes Booth. That brings us up to 1865. Shall I go on?
Don't stop. It's great.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here and leave me alone.
After you've told me all your secrets, I'm not that rotten.
You won't help me. You never intended to. Why go on torturing?
Oh, now, stop that. Please. I believe you. I believe all your stories. Now, what is my next smart move?
Sam, the only way to stop Ernie Nogales is to prove that he's running a crooked wheel. And then he'd pay back all that blackmail money, and he wouldn't dare lay a hand on Tommy.
Well, it's going to be hard to prove and expensive. I'll have to lose a little on that wheel before I can figure the way it's rigged. How much can you invest?
Well, I have about $1,000 of my own.
With you?
Yes. Here. You take it.
Smells nice.
Sam.
Yeah?
Sam, after all this is over, and after I've put things to right with Leonard, I should have told him before this, but I owed him so much. Oh, Sam, I'm so glad it's you.
Yeah. Me too, Angel.
Go now, darling, before I beg you not to.
What time does that joint close?
Well, it runs all night, I think.
Good. Let's stay up late and raid the icebox. Around 2 a.m., when I low-geared the Plymouth up the long, steep driveway to Ernie Nogales' racket club, backed into the parking space nearest the road with a car headed downhill for a quick getaway just in case, and I went in. The the joint was still going full blast, I bought $500 worth of chips, swaggered over to the table where Kill Course had dropped his $100 and nonchalantly flipped the blue chip onto the red.
Ladies and gentlemen, make your game. Okay, that's all. Around and round the little ball goes.
I didn't look to see where the little ball went. Most of the money was on red, so it was bound to turn up black.
A red, please.
What?
Number 15. Place your bets, please. Make your game, ladies and gentlemen. Around and round it goes.
The chips were spread around more the next turn, so I stacked 100 at the bottom of the 1 to 34 column. With a crooked wheel, my 100 made it the best bet to lose.
And 19, and the red wins again.
Hey! I plunked 500 down on number 5 and raked in 17,500. I left my original bet on the table. When the little ball fell into the pocket, I was $35,000 to the good from my point of view, but not from my clients. I doubled my bet and looked apprehensively around. There were no surly characters edging up behind me. In fact, the only surly character in sight was Ernie Nogales, and he looked happy. That didn't make much sense. When my bankroll got to $105,000, I played a hunch. I threw $5,000 of it back on the table and lost it. That made a kind of sense. I cashed in the rest of my chips and squeezed the $100,000 U.S. currency into my inside pocket. If anybody aimed for my heart, it was thick enough to stop the slug, which was some comfort. But what I saw when I walked out to the parking lot was no comfort at all. I'd gotten just a glimpse of it through some trees. A sedan backed into a driveway halfway down the hill. It was blacked out except for 5 glowing cigar ends that showed through the windows. I could think of only one reason for 5 cigar smokers to be parked in that particular spot at that particular moment. The Plymouth was where I had parked it, pointing straight down the hill. I slammed the door but didn't get in. Then I listened. The car down the hill was getting ready, too. I cracked the door of the Plymouth wide enough to get my arm inside and pressed the starter with the heel of my hand. I switched on the lights, pushed the clutch with my left hand, used my right to shift it into low. Then I pulled the hand throttle out all the way and let it go.
What's the big idea busting into my office?
We're going to have a talk, Nogales.
Please, don't wave that heater at me. It makes me nervous. I don't like guns.
I don't either. That's why I'm here. Put your hands on top of the desk and keep them there.
All right. Give me back that roll. I give you clean money for it. It was a gamble, so I lost. Can you blame me?
Where'd you get this money?
I buy it. 50 cents on the dollar. I don't ask where it came from, but I read the papers. I figured it was that shipyard payroll job a few days back. Like it just fell in my lap. I figured it'd make $50,000 instead of kill course 5. I guess that was dirty trick you just out of stir, Tommy, huh?
I got news for you, Nogales. I didn't know this money was hot, and I am not Tommy Lane.
No? Then what?
Private Dick. Tommy's sister hired me to take the fall for him. Look, I've got most of the caper. Kill Course wanted to pay Tommy $100,000. You rigged the wheel so Kill Course would lose it one night, and Tommy would win it back the next night. Now, what was Kill Course paying him off for?
No, Caper, legitimate. He was sent up for bribing a public official.
You mean he was the payoff man for Kill Course's contracting firm?
Sure, legitimate business. The grand jury went out after Kill Course. Tommy took the rap, that's all, for a price.
Yeah, $100,000. Thanks, Nogales. That's all I needed.
Oh, Sam, I was afraid I might be too late.
You are,
Oh, I
sweetheart.
have so many things to explain. Well, where can you talk?
Right in here.
Who's this man?
Why, that's your old sweetie from Reno, Ernie Nogales, remember?
What's the matter with you two? You crazy?
Oh, Sam, I should have told you the truth from the beginning.
Check. The Nogales yarn, I can understand, but why did you tell me you were Kill Course's wife?
I was desperate. I had to say something. It was the only explanation I could think of for my interest in this case, without telling the truth.
But you were making a pigeon out of me.
I don't know about such things, Sam. All I know is I'm here in time to warn you. You mustn't walk out of here with that money.
Listen.
They may kill you to get it back.
They already did. They're combing the wreckage of that car right now, looking for my body.
Then Tommy was right. They did mean to kill him.
How'd he get the rumble?
While he was in prison, from another man that killed Course framed. He was in for life, so it was safe for him to talk.
Hey, you...
Yeah, Nogales?
That car that just drove up. I think that's Mr. Kill Course.
Oh,
Hey, what's your hurry?
Don't let me go.
Come on, what's your hurry?
Tommy's out there in that cab. I've got to warn him.
Or tip off kill course. Which is it?
No, Sam, you've got to believe me.
Sit down. Stop that.
You two have fun. I'm getting out of here.
Go ahead. Now, listen, sweet Lorraine, you may as well save your breath for those explanations. You're staying right here until the caper's all wrapped up.
Here he comes. Have you got a gun, Sam?
Yeah?
Well, you do better have it ready.
Mm-mm.
But Sam...
Where's Nogales? I want to see him.
He was called out of town, sir. I'm in charge. You Mr. Kilcourse?
That's right. I want to know why you people have been interfering with my business. It might interest you to know that this building site's on an old Spanish land grant. Title's very shaky. I'll run an 8-lane highway straight through the middle of it and turn the rest of it into a game preserve. That's what I do to people who double-cross me.
I tried to tell Mr. Nogales that, sir. He wouldn't listen to me. He tipped Tommy off for a split of $100,000, but I knew sooner or later we'd have to answer to you, Mr. Kilcourse.
Oh, well, what's that?
Here's your $100,000, sir. Count it.
Well. What's your name, son?
Sam Spade, sir.
I'm glad to meet an honest lad. Well, come along. You two, young lady, we'll all walk out together.
Sam, what are you... What?
Spade, huh?
Yes, sir. I'm a private detective, but I'm ambitious.
Politics?
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll run you for assembly. In the meantime, I believe there's an opening in one of the public services. Garbage disposal. Executive end, of course. Where the devil is that man with my car? Oh, there he is. You drop around to my office in the morning.
Thank you, and good night, Mr. Kilcourse.
Drive on, Horace. Back to the city.
Oh, Sam. How could you? All those lies and just handing over the money like that, it wasn't yours.
It wasn't Tommy's either, sweetheart. Get in.
Well, Tommy, are you all right?
Yeah.
Drive us across the bridge, Tommy, will you?
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy, I'm afraid we'll have to do without the money.
Yeah.
Sam gave it to Mr. Kilcourse.
Yeah.
Now, don't get excited, Tommy. I'm sure Sam had a reason. Didn't you, Sam?
Yeah. I mean, that was marked money from a payroll job.
Oh, then it won't do him any good.
It'll send him up for a good long stretch if the eyewitness story that goes along with it is good enough. And you're just the girl to tell it, sweetheart. Am I right, Tommy?
Yeah.
Period. End of report.
Already? But Sam.
Yeah?
What happened? Who were the 5 men in the car, the ones who shot at that Plymouth in the mistaken belief that you were in it?
Their names are of little account, Effie. Suffice it to say that Kilcourse pointed his pudgy finger at them in the hopes of keeping the charge of attempted murder out of his indictment. But I was too clever. I identified them.
But Sam, you didn't see anything but their cigars glowing in the darkness.
Have you never heard of Sherlock Holmes' monograph and the 49 varieties of tobacco ash, you fool?
But Sam, Sherlock Holmes is only the segment of someone's imagination. He's a fictional detective.
Well?
You mean... Oh, Sam, you're tired.
Yes, I am.
It's affected your mind, winning all that money. Now, you just sit here and rest.
What?
Think of the snowy mountaintops and blue skies. I'll just go and type this up.
Snowy mountaintops. Winter sports yet.
And now, listen to this. If you haven't yet tried Wild Root Cream Oil, the famous hair tonic that grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff, then here's a wonderful way to get acquainted. Buy Wild Root Cream Oil in the new 25-cent size bottle at your drug or toilet goods counter. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil hair tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Well, here it is, Sam. And not that it made any difference, but how did you guess that she wasn't Mrs. Kilcourse?
Simple. Kilcourse didn't recognize it.
But, Sam, that was after you denounced her.
I did no such thing.
From the report, Sam, in black and white. Quote, why did you tell me you were Kilcourse's wife? Unquote. At that point, you assumed that she was not Mrs. Leonard Kilcourse.
I did not. I merely wondered why she had told me.
Well, with all the lies she told, you might have assumed anything she said was totally devoid of truth.
And I did, sweetheart. I did.
Oh, well, that's a relief. I was afraid for a while she'd taken you in.
What's that got to do with the truth?
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. Sadie Thompson appeared as Lorraine Kilcourse. The The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction by Lud Gluskin. Score composed by Rene Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with silver lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keep on all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Sam, sweetheart. Any calls?
Only one, Sam. Lieutenant Dundee of Homicide. He wants you to drop around so they can get your formal statement.
No hurry, not now.
He told me what happened, Sam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I.
I guess he was one of your oldest friends, wasn't he?
You don't make any friends in this business, Evie. You can write that in your book now, and I'll give you the rest of it when I get there.
You sound tired, Sam. Wouldn't you rather just...
What, baby?
Well, go home and, just put it off until tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe I... No. No, I'll get it off my chest tonight. Stay there, Effie. I'll come on down and dictate my report on the Dick Foley caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. No two ways about it, folks. Hair that's well-groomed can make all the difference in the world to a person's overall appearance. That's why so many men, women, boys, and girls are turning to the famous non-alcoholic hair tonic with lanolin, Wild Root Cream Oil. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, removes loose dandruff. If you haven't tried it before, you'll want to get Wild Root Cream Oil in a new 25-cent get-acquainted size. Yes, get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men and women and children, too. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
Oh, here, Sam, let me.
Am I that shaky?
Say when.
Just to the top of the glass.
Now, that's enough. You spill it.
Yeah.
Sam, what you said over the phone about not making any friends in this business, you didn't really mean that, did you?
Forget it. You can label this, file on Dick Foley. Date, fill it in.
Yes, sir.
To Dundee at Homicide, I guess, from Samuel Spade, license number 137596. The facts are all here. If you can dig a formal statement out of it, you're welcome. I'd known Dick Foley ever since I took out my license. We'd worked several big capers together back in my days as a Continental Lot. He and Mickey Linehan and I. Then he and Mickey opened their own office, Foley and Linehan, Private Investigations. 5 years back, Mickey stopped the slug, and since then the sign on the door read Dick Foley Detective Agency. I'd seen Dick maybe 4 or 5 times in the last half a dozen years just to have a drink and chew the fat about the good old days. He never talked about his private life. I assumed he didn't have any. So when I went to his office the day before yesterday in response to his call, I was surprised to find him in a clinch with one of the most beautiful nails I've ever seen.
Oh, Sam. Well.
Shall I come back after lunch?
I
Sam, this is Maxine, my wife.
Well, you don't deserve it, but I'm happy for you.
I'll return the compliment, Sam. I wanted to meet you for years, but Dick wouldn't introduce me.
Now you know why. Well, you run along, honey. Sam's here on business.
All right, Dick. You can bring Sam home to dinner if you like. There's plenty.
If he's not too busy, but don't count on that.
Well, try anyway, won't you, Sam?
I will indeed.
Bye now.
Draw up a chair, Sam. Sit down.
Oh. What's on your mind, Dick?
You remember Claude Spicer, that grifter I sent over for that jewelry store hike back in 43?
You never told me you were married, Dick.
I'm very happily married. Now, please pay attention.
Claude Spicer, yeah. Yeah, I remember the caper. Wasn't there a dame involved?
Well, Spicer had a girlfriend, but the cops gave her a good bill of health. Spicer went up for a 5-year stretch. They spun him last month.
Whatever happened to that dame?
Now, look, about Spicer.
He gunning for you?
You hit it.
How scared of him are you?
Well, enough to ask you for help, Sam.
What's eating him? Just revenge?
Sam, I wouldn't tell this to anybody but you. But all the facts of that caper didn't come out at that time. I thought of it.
How come?
Well, I couldn't have stayed in business in San Francisco if it had been generally known that my partner was the inside man on a jewelry store heist.
Mickey?
Yeah, Mickey Linehan. You and I are both great at choosing partners, Sam. They both deserve what they got.
Only one difference. I sent up the killer that plugged my partner. Some people thought the way you gave evidence at Spicer's murder trial wasn't so hot.
Well, he was alibied, Sam. In fact, the robbery was his alibi for the murder. I don't know how he managed it. I've been trying for 5 years to figure it out. Spicer's afraid I might succeed someday. That's why he's out to get me.
What's he waiting for?
Oh, I don't know. He won't do it simple. He'll have a fancy plan like the other time. He's tricky.
Where's he staying?
At the Belvedere. Here's his mug. I kept a plant on the building for a couple of days, but he stayed holed up in his room. I think he spotted me.
Okay, Dick, I'll give it a buzz.
Now, wait a minute, Sam.
Yeah?
I'm not asking you to do this for love. Standard fee, $25 in whiskey money. Okay?
Forget it. This one's on me. In the elevator on my way out, I studied a picture of Claude Spicer on the old police circular Dick had given me. But a picture in the back of my mind kept getting in the way. It was Dick Foley's wife, Maxine. When I hit the street, I still saw her face before me, and it was no picture. Only pretty as.
Sam, I waited for you. I've got to talk to you.
My pleasure. Shall we confer in an adjacent cafe?
Wherever you say. Only I don't want Dick to know.
Then you shouldn't have married a detective.
Please, Sam.
How's this? Black wash?
Yeah.
Looks dark enough.
Oh, that booth in the corner, it's secluded.
Why not? Slide in. Oh, no, over here, stupid, not facing the street.
Oh, sorry. I'm not much good at this sort of thing. Sam, I'm not asking you to tell me what it is, but if he's in really bad trouble, I think I have a right to know.
What makes you think he's in trouble?
Well, I'm not blind. You can't live with a man and not sense it when something goes wrong.
I never thought Dick was the type to show it.
Oh, he's tried to hide it from me, and I haven't said anything. I thought if he wanted me to know, he'd tell me.
It was a wise thought. Hold on to it.
Well, I meant to. But then a terrible possibility crossed my mind. Sam, it isn't me, is it?
In what way?
Well, you know what I mean. He's been away from home nights so much lately, and he questions me so closely about where I go and who I see and so on, and Well, I may as well ask you right out. Did he hire you to check up on me? Then that is it.
No.
You're not lying to me, Sam.
Why should I?
Dick says you're almost his oldest friend. He's talked so much about you.
And he must have told you I don't do that type of work.
Why do you keep looking at me?
Sorry, trying to place you, Maxine. I keep thinking I've seen you someplace before.
Oh, it must have been my picture. I was an actress.
Yeah. Picture? Yeah, maybe that was it.
Why do you say it like that?
Like what?
As if you were angry with me.
Because I just got the caption on the picture.
Well, Sam, wait. Come back.
Yes, I had. And the caption was from a newspaper circa 1943. And it read, Actress Lovely cleared in Linehan slaying. I flashed my tin star at the room clerk at the Belvedere, learned that Claude Spicer was in, and stuck around to make sure the clerk didn't buzz the room to tip him off. Around 4 p.m., Spicer went out, very dressed up, umbrella, gloves and all. He walked down Geary to Grant and turned north. A cold San Francisco drizzle started blowing up from the bay. I wished I'd brought my overcoat. A half a block up from California, he entered Grayson's jewelry store. I peeked through the rain-streaked show window after him. Inside, pawing eagerly through a tray full of diamond clips while a long-suffering clerk eyed her hopelessly from his side of the counter, was the actress Lovely. Maxine shot Spicer a quick glance of recognition as he entered, but they didn't speak. He took up a pose of gentlemanly patience, shrugged his eyebrows sympathetically at the clerk, and leaned elegantly on his umbrella while Maxine found fault with every piece of jewelry that was shoved in front of her. The bored expression left his face only once. That was when the clerk opened the vault and brought out some unset stones. Their act may have been fooling the clerk, but it was as plain as the nose on Spicer's face, a very plain nose it was, that they were sizing up the joint for a pushover. Maxine left first. He stayed long enough to buy a cigarette lighter and then followed her out. As I took out after him, I stopped to read the sticker on the inside of the glass door. It said, "These premises protected by Dick Foley Detective Agency." Maxine was waiting for him at the corner. I grabbed up a Chinese newspaper and used it to listen behind, but I needn't have bothered. They didn't seem to care.
Well, are you happy? Ought to be about $1 million.
Why are you so disagreeable? You ought to be feeling good.
Feeling good? 5-year stretch, I come out to find my girl married to the joker that sent me up.
You didn't think it was such a bad idea at the time.
Well, I do now. Well, after tonight, we'll go east, you and me together, baby.
He'll catch up with us wherever we go.
Oh, you shouldn't live so long.
How do you mean that?
Just like it sounds, baby. Bye.
Oh, don't leave.
I'm going to get some sleep. I'll need a clear head.
Claude, I don't want to be alone.
Oh. Not even tonight?
I don't want to be alone.
See you later, honey. Bye-bye.
He went straight back to the Belvedere, no stops. Picked up his key at the desk, no messages, took the elevator to the 8th floor. Let himself into room 809, hung out the Do Not Disturb sign, closed and locked the door behind him. I kept a plan on it till around midnight. Then I lifted the Do Not Disturb card from the doorknob and wedged it into the crack of the door. It was a crafty move, and I had just finished doing it craftily when the door opened again in my face.
Huh? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Nothing, sir. I'm making a survey.
What?
I'm from the Trotter Pole. It's like the Gallup poll, but we're not in so much of a hurry.
Yeah?
Just kindly answer this question. As a Democrat, do you believe... Do we, huh? I picked up the Do Not Disturb card and wedged it back into the crack of his door. As any house dick knows, except, of course, Tiny Stover, the night peeper at the Belvedere, if anybody opens the door like that, the card will fall out, and somebody will always hang it on the knob. Another thing Tiny doesn't know is never to draw to an inside straight. We played 9 different kinds of poker until 5 a.m. when I thought I'd go up and have another look. All was quiet on the 8th floor. From the elevator bank, I could see room 809. The morning paper was shoved under his door, and my Do Not Disturb sign was apparently where I had planted it. I tiptoed up to make sure.
Huh? Who are you? What do you want?
Me? The paper boy, sir. Your morning paper.
You get around. Well.
Good news in the paper, sir?
Interesting. Jewelry store heist up on Grant Avenue.
Oh, yes, sir. Our paper only comes... What? I grabbed the paper from under 805. It was the headline I could have expected if Spicer had left his room without my knowing it. Grayson's Jewelry Store, the shop he and Maxine had cased that afternoon, had been taken for an estimated $1 million in uncut gems. But Spicer's door hadn't been opened, and there was no other exit. I sat down and thought. And what I thought of was that sticker on the front door of Grayson's said, "These premises protected by Dick Foley Detective Agency." When the 6 a.m. Oakland ferry boat felt its way blindly out of the slip, Claude Spicer was aboard, and so was I. Should have been getting lighter, but it wasn't. The fog was thickening over the harbor, and most of the passengers were inside drinking coffee. Spicer didn't go in. He climbed up to the boat deck and stood at the rail under the pilot's house. I planted between 2 wet paint signs and waited. Not for long. I couldn't make out any features on the man who came up and joined him. They stood face to face, not more than a foot apart, and talked in voices that couldn't get to me through the racket of the foghorns in the harbor. What spoke loud enough for me to hear was a gun. They seemed to fall into each other's arms, then collapsed in a heap on the deck. And when I got to the spot, only the dead one was there. It was Spicer. The other man had disappeared around the corner of the deck house. A ray of light from the pilot's window swept over him, and I saw a gunmetal shine on his hand and then spin out over the rail as he threw it.
What? Oh, it's you, Sam. Oh, I was afraid you'd lost him.
What did you do it for, Dick?
I had my reasons, Sam. Now, trust me, I'll keep you in the clear.
How long? As long as I go on playing sucker for you?
What do you think I hired you for?
Maybe I was supposed to say you killed him in self-defense. Maybe I was supposed to see him making passes at your wife if you needed that.
But, Sam, you've got
I've worked for killers before. I've even worked for thieves, but not for a detective that knocks over a place he's supposed to be protecting.
Sam, it's not as
Save
simple.
it for the cops, Dick. I'm turning you in when we get to Oakland.
No, you're not, Sam.
Dick, come back here.
Let go of me. I'm going over the side. If you try to stop me, you're going with me.
He fought away from me, got one foot over the rail, and kicked out at me with the other. It caught me on the point of the chin. I stumbled forward and grabbed out blind. I must have caught him by the belt just as he jumped. I remember something pulling me halfway over the rail and trying to get free of it. I did, but not soon enough. I was in midair, and the black water came rushing up to meet me.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men and women and children, too. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Dick Foley Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
Mechanically keeping afloat somehow and trying to get out of my coat. I felt heavy and logged as if I'd swallowed gallons of water. The murk hung low and thick. There was nothing else to be seen anywhere. I swallowed what felt like several more gallons before I got rid of the coat. From out of the misty fog blanket, from every direction, in a dozen different keys, from near and far, foghorns sounded. I stopped swimming and floated on my back, trying to determine my whereabouts. After a while, I picked out the moaning, evenly spaced blasts of the Alcatraz siren. But they came out of the fog without direction. Seemed to beat down on me from straight above. I was somewhere in San Francisco Bay, and that was all I knew. And I suspected the current was sweeping me out toward the Golden Gate. And a light came up ahead of me suddenly. A boat passing a few yards away. I lifted my head and screamed. The boat siren, crying its warning, drowned out my shouts. Went on past, and the fog closed in behind it. Then I heard a new sound. Seagull. I swam towards it, and it seemed to get lighter. Part of it was the dawn light beginning to cut through the fog blanket. But there was also a strange-looking man standing on the water and waving a green lantern back and forth. I yelled at him to wait for me, and the seagull got off his hat and flew away. When I got closer, I saw that it was not a man, but only a buoy. Channel tight. I used all the strength I had left to drag myself up on the base of it and let it rock me to sleep.
Hey, mate. Pour some more of the brandy into them, Gus.
Yeah. Here. Get some of these down.
Where are we?
Hey. It ain't heaven. You can tell that by the smell.
Oh, Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah, take it easy. We got ambulance coming. You going to the hospital?
No. No, I'll be okay. Hey, give me a hand.
Yeah, okay. Hey, you do us a favor, will you? Don't fall down till you get out of sight this time. We're tired of picking you up.
I thanked the two kindly old fisher folk for their interest in my welfare, tottered up the pier, fell into a taxi, and went home. While I soaked out some of my aches and pains and chills, I did some stewing about the caper so far and stewed up enough anger to carry me through to the finish. I checked the Coast Guard for news of Dick Foley. They told me his body hadn't been recovered yet. I got dressed and went over to his office. The cops hadn't been there. I went through the file cabinet. And what I found under Foley Private had me so interested that I didn't hear Maxine come in until she closed the door.
What are you looking for?
You, baby. I'm for you.
Sam.
Come here.
Oh, Sam.
Nice, huh?
Oh, you dirty.
Now, don't be mad, Maxine. A gun makes a woman bulge in the wrong place.
It's not my gun.
We'll see.
Sam,
Shut up. Now, starting with the rap Spicer went up for, the same pattern. The way you worked this one tells me how you worked it the first time. You get something on a private detective. The first time, 5 years ago, it was Dick's partner, Mickey Linehan. I don't know what Spicer had on him, but I do know he forced Dick to knock over Grayson's jewelry store last night.
I won't listen to you.
Okay, I'll talk to myself. I'm not saying you killed Mickey Linehan, but Dick did frame an alibi for you, didn't he? Didn't he?
Oh, you're hurting me.
Good. Try spending a night swimming around in circles in the middle of the harbor sometime. See how you like that.
All right, it's true. Dick did help me out of that old jam. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud our love was that important to him.
No, Spicer. That same old double-cross. Only this time I'm standing where Dick did 5 years ago. Dick was set up as a patsy the same way Mickey Linehan was, but he got smart and pulled the trigger first.
Stop it. Stop it.
Where did that hurt?
You fool. I love Dick.
Yeah.
I loved him. That's something you can't understand. But it happens that way, no matter what people are.
You sound as if you really mean that. But you're a little late, aren't you?
He's not dead. I'm sure he isn't.
If he's not, he's really in trouble.
What do you mean by that?
I found something here in the files that Dick left, just in case Spicer got to him first.
What is it?
A confession to Mickey Linehan's murder.
That's impossible.
Were you there?
What are you going to do with it?
Turn it over to the police.
But if he's still alive...
It still counts, unless he shows and revokes it, but I don't think he will.
Why?
Because I won't back up a self-defense plea on the Spicer shooting.
But you were Dick's friend. You were his friend.
I wouldn't ask him to do it for me.
Then what can I do for him? I'll do anything at all.
Well, if he stays away, he's as good as dead. If he comes back, you'll get a jury trial. And if there are more men than women in the panel, he'd probably be acquitted on your testimony alone.
You really think he might have a chance?
With a jury, there's always a chance.
But where is he? How can I get word to him?
Well, if he's not fish food by now, there's one sure way of smoking him out.
Something I can do.
Nobody else.
Oh, please, tell me anything.
Sign a confession of your own.
Confession?
Not Mickey Linehan's murder or anything they might nail you for. Swear that you shot Spicer.
What?
Now, you can always renege. Make both of you look good, sacrificing for each other. How about it?
All right. Tell me what to write.
I did. She signed it. I had Effie dispatch it to all the papers and news services, and then I brought it down to the hall. Naturally, you didn't believe a word of her confession, Dundee, but when I took you aside and explained my stratagem, you endorsed it heartily and had her booked. She pressed my hand and thanked me. The look of resignation on her face was so real it was hard to believe she was faking. When she turned her back to follow the matron down the corridor, I saw why. On the back of her coat, there was a smear of white paint. I remembered the wet paint signs on the Oakland ferry boat. Dick Foley gave himself up an hour after her confession hit the street. Screamed and yelled at everybody in homicide, trying to convince them that Maxine was innocent and he should take the full rap. But I'm afraid I cleared that when we confronted him with the autopsy surgeon's report. He tried to bluff even then when he read it.
Pellet A ended right side between third and fourth ribs, penetrated left lung. Pellet B, pleural membrane, side wound punctured. Well, so what, Sam?
All three on the right side, angling up, you see?
No! I don't know why. You even saw me on that boat. You saw me throw the gun over.
Oh, cut it out, Dick. What I saw was in the dark. But you two men were facing each other directly. If I were going to drop a man fast at close range, face to face like that, I would not put the gun in my left hand, twist it around, straining my wrist in the process, and pull the trigger with my thumb. Unless I were left-handed, double-jointed, and a trickier shot than you are. I'd blast him straight through the middle.
All right. All right, yes, it was Maxine.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Maybe you can get cured now. Why don't you open up some more? Let me put it down like it was business.
All right, sir.
Number 1. Maxine killed your partner, Mickey Lanahan, 5 years ago. Probable motive to eliminate him and send Spicer up for it.
Yeah, she didn't figure on Spicer being smart enough to confess to the robbery, and that alibied him for the murder.
2. You perjured yourself to clear Maxine of the murder. Motive? To prevent the truth about your partner from coming out, and Maxine was motive enough for anything.
Cut it out, will you?
Sorry. 3. Spicer forced you to team up with him in the jewelry heist. How?
Well, he threatened to make a full confession as accessory to Mickey's killing. I would have put the whole works on Maxine and leave him in the clear.
Yeah. Can't be tried twice for the same crime. 4. You decided to rub out Spicer whether you could beat the rap or not and clear the books once and for all. So you pretended to play along with him, told Maxine to do the same, and called me in as umpire.
Yeah. Sam, I'm sorry. Why couldn't you lay off Maxine? Why did you have to... Oh, I thought you were my friend.
And that's about it. Period. End of friendship.
Oh. You mean the confession that you tricked her into making turned out to...
That's it, Effie.
Oh. What'll happen to him?
What
about Dick Foley?
Dick? Oh, they got him on a number of things, I suppose. May take some time out of him. But I think he'll be an okay guy again.
With her out of the way.
With her out of the way.
Sam?
Go and type it up, will you? It's late. I want to get out of here.
And now, listen to this. When it comes to hair tonics, the best friend of the family is Wild Root Cream Oil. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, removes loose dandruff. Now, you can get America's leading hair tonic in the new 25-cent Get Acquainted size. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men and women and children, too.
Well, here it is, Sam. I know how you must feel, so I won't...
What's your hurry?
Well, I thought, well, you know how you always feel.
Look, sweetheart, Dick Foley was a private dick. So what?
You mean you can bring yourself to talk about it?
Sure. Go ahead, try me.
Well, Sam, it seems terribly complicated. I suppose because Mr. Foley was in the profession and thinks like you do.
Up to a point, Effie. What's bothering you?
Well, why did he call you in? You, another private detective, and he knew how smart you are and all, and...
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he thought, well, if I turned up anything, I'd look the other way.
Do you think that could ever happen to you, Sam? That's a clever phrase you dictated. He called me in as umpire. That's baseball. But if he was so clever, why didn't he win, Sam?
His mistake, Effie, was trying a quadruple play, which has never been heard of in the history of baseball or crime. All he wanted was to bat Maxine home safe. But it usually figures when 3 men are out, the side retires.
Oh, well, I don't understand baseball, Sam.
Well, that's all right. Football will be here soon anyway.
Oh, but I don't...
Good night, Levy.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Rene Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to...
Get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's not alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.